Welcome everybody to our usual podcast. This is the host himself, the Rocker, aka Leo. This one, of course, is gonna be a nice doozy. Yeah. Pretty much chatting about NASCAR itself, etc. All that. And oh, jeepers indeed. Yeah, we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be talking about NASCAR, some, but mainly talking about, of course, the two rookies, how they perform, how the drivers in general have performed, and who got, of course, the winning of the points, and more of etc. Of course, I got the co-host himself of Schaefer the 9000 from the season 5.
Time. So the second thing is that season six is already coming in, and it's most likely going to be the Cup 98 due to the main popular vote.
Yeah, it's announced in the wire. There was only about two votes in. I mean, I vote all of them because all three of them were good. But we had two, and then now we have about 4 or 5 votes on Winston in Cup '98 to set '97, if I'm correct, and that is gonna be a fun doozy. While we go to the '98, not the '98, and we have beyond that. Well, here's one of the main answers, right? The Terrazzo Ford was kind of not really the best chassis to see. Fortunately, of course, you will see that in the Bush series, but I mean, if it feels fitting enough for the Bush to have that Ford one in there, but it's fitting to have the Thunderbird as the Cup because the Thunderbird with the Pontiac Grand Prix and the Monte Carlo with it just feels more fitting with the big dogs having the Thunderbird in it in that. Plus, that was probably like the second to last. This was the second to last season to see your the Thunderbird in there, because again, the Thunderbird was probably the best thing in there to have in NASCAR, because
Yep, started all the way back from, I think it was during the 80s when
yeah.
we originally had the Monte Carlo back in 86, I believe. No, it wasn't 86. Yeah, it was sometime either at 86 or 85. That's when we had the Monte Carlos go against the Ford Thunderbirds during the time, as well as a little bit of Pontiac action going around the same as well. Um, Another thing is that when it came to the Ford Thunderbird, it was actually one of the best Ford manufactured cars for NASCAR of all time, even beating the current Ford Taurus and then the Ford Fusion and even the Ford Mustang of all things. As for me, Ford Thunderbird is actually very, very good car if you know how to manage it right and got the right parts. For example, Bill Elliott, one of Dale Earnhardt's rivals during the 90s, he got himself a very good Thunderbird that made him one of the fastest drivers in NASCAR to have the fastest qualifying in one of the super speedways, and yet still remained till this day as an unbroken record with the top speed of 212.9 miles per hour. Keep that in mind. During those times, there were no restrictor plates.
Mm-hmm.
And the potential within the cars without restrictor plates has a lot of more speed built inside their own carburetor. For example, the Chevrolet Monte Carlo. I know I'm a bit of a Chevy guy, and I kind of glaze a little bit on Chevy here and there, but hear me out over here. When you have a Gen 4 Monte Carlo without a restrictor plate, they have a recorded top speed going over 230 miles per hour. That's faster than the current Gen 5 and Gen 6, who can reach up to about 220 at best.
Mm-hmm.
And as for, Dodge fans, y'all are going to be happy with current NASCARs that first they're bringing in Dodge Ram back in the 2025 Craftsman Truck Series. And they're thinking about bringing it back within the main cup roster for NASCAR currently.
Of course, that's what shows the success of I wouldn't say the truck series. That's of course they're gonna say. So that, bear in mind, of course, is gonna be pretty interesting to watch in the end of the day.
Yep. But as you can see here, we're gonna test out a good old track of ours that we all know and love. Good old Coca-Cola.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun just watching this go, honestly. We're just gonna pretty much just let this race go whenever and whatnot. Again, we're not really gonna commentate too. We're mainly just gonna talk about stuff and let this be on the background so you guys, have something to watch into,
Basically, we will pop up here and there. We'll probably talk a little bit about what will be going on currently. But we would, crack funny jokes and throw some shade to our fellow drivers or whatnot back from season 5. I will say this. Isaac did finally shut up the critics for the first time. But did he do it the second time? That's what fans are suggesting. Like, could he actually make a repeat of winning the upcoming cup that's about to happen for the next season?
I mean, that's if, of course, whatchamacallit.
Drivers, to your cars.
That's if, of course, really, if you see, whatchamacallit. I mean, for example, he had
Drivers,
the first
to your
one.
cars.
Now it's he tried to do it once. Unfortunately, didn't happen. Shay tried to do it again, and when he had a second and one, couldn't do it. Roadrunner tried to do it, and just went off to a hangover mode. Kaiser, Kaiser was the closest when he had his fourth. He had the fourth one, and just again he got beaten by the one that was mainly again oversized critic, and that was Isaac. So again, I think critics do have the point of it's not really who is going to get it, but it's mainly who is going to be the first ever, second consecutive championship, or heck,
Who could win back-to-back cup?
Yeah, exactly. So who's going to be back-to-back, or who is going to be consecutive champion?
That will remain unknown at this time. However, there is some speculation within fans from the 3 driver are really dissing on the fans on the 27 who currently they still can't get over the fact that the 27 driver of Isaac cheated in Riverside. Of course, it was already taken care of and already came to an agreement that race was kind of rigged for say. Oh no, someone had a terrible start, and who could that be?
looks like the car of
Morgan Shepherd.
in the 48.
Dang. So as you can see for the Arrow car over here, this is back in 1986 season. And within real NASCAR history, that was when Dale Earnhardt won one of his championships after 1980. I think this was his second one.
It was indeed.
Because he did win Rookie of the Year back in 1979, and he almost won his first championship from there. But due to common rookie mistakes, he did not win his first cup in 1979. But he did win his first cup back at 1980. And his first ever confirmed win was back at my hometown at Atlanta. And this was when he was racing in the number 2 at the Mike Curbs. Then he decided to switch over to Richard Childress to race for the 8 temporarily, and then went to race as the iconic number 3 today. During this season right here, one of his main sponsors was Wrangler for his current car that he's racing at Coca-Cola right now.
Yeah, he was in Wrangler for about, starting at around 1982, all the way to 1987.
No, it was 1988.
Yeah, 88. Well, no, 88. That's where he got his Wrangler, so that's where he went to 87 to, as opposed to 88. But 88.
No.
After that, he went to Wrangler.
No, he fully went.
Goodwrench.
He went full-time Goodwrench starting in 1988 as the number 8 driver temporarily, then went back to the 3. He stopped using Wrangler as his main paint scheme within 1988. He did race it a little bit with the good old Monte Carlos that we have with the current models for like a few special races here and there, because Wrangler was obviously, loved the legend of Dale Earnhardt, giving them the good money for having good racing over here. And I will say this, Richard Petty may be the most iconic racer out there, but the number 1 best racer in my heart and how I see it is Dale Earnhardt. And there will be nobody that'll drive as good as Dale Earnhardt. You could say Junior is the son, and if he were to spend more time with his father, if he didn't died at Daytona back in February of 2001, maybe he might be as good as his dad, but right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just I think, even without his dad though, he really showed that he was still good. And heck, there was better than that because his speedways, he had the same aggressive as that had, and he got a good amount of wins. And Earnhardt's, of course, in general, were mainly the best of the best. There was no stopping the Earnhardts in super speedways. Yep. Well, unfortunately, besides Jeffrey Earnhardt, he wasn't really that good. I mean, he was.
Well, he did race. He did race pretty good within his own league. I forgot what race he was racing in. I think he was racing in the Xfinity series, I believe.
He was winning the City. He had ARCA, City, and then of course he got in.
I heard he
Cup.
did pretty good at ARCA.
Yeah, and then he was in Cup for a bit. Well, Darren Jr. was still in there and not really that good. I mean, he was good at the speedways to hang in there, but just I think he wasn't good with the car he had. But we know, driver-wise, he could be good if he had the right equipment and not just poor equipment with a car.
And the right team too.
I mean, well, team, if they can pull out their pocket and actually just grab one good car, no matter what. For example, '95 Matt Benedetto in the Cup. He had a good Bristol car once, and that was the only shot that the family racing had a shot to actually get their first ever win and actually get a good amount of money out of that. And
Mm-hmm.
had it, and then Hamlin the last few laps was on the tail end, and instead of not really being the guy to let us see it happen, he just snagged his way. Beto was fighting back to it, but just Hamlin just didn't let it happen at the end of the day, and kind of sucked, honestly. I actually watched that race live on TV, and I was like, you son of a gun, Hamlin.
Yeah, that's why I call him Denny Hammond, because not only for a Top Gear reference, but for the amount of times he gets into crashes, he makes Richard Hammond look like a perfect NASCAR racer. And fun fact, that is one of the people that actually tested his own skills for showing how difficult NASCAR is for British folks that say that driving left turns is easy with the sprint cars. No, no, no. He was actually with Jeff Gordon during the time, and Jeff Gordon was explaining how the NASCAR car during the time when Richard Hammond was with Jeff Gordon, I think he was in the Chevy Impala SS during the time, so it was somewhere in the 2010s. Jeff Gordon showed that it wasn't really easy to consistently drive a NASCAR Cup car.
It was.
Sure, you could say a Ferrari car could be, a NASCAR at its peak when it comes to like turning and cornering capabilities. That is correct. But at the straightaways, no. There goes the
Back
NASCAR.
there.
Oh, yeah, there's a big one over there. That is involving the 94 of, who could that be? That is right there, Morgan Shepherd again.
Yeah.
And there goes Marcus over here. Darrell Wattrip makes it there unscathed, but there's some drivers over here. What
Terry Labonte, E73 of Marcus.
There's more Morgan Shepherds and more Marcuses.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the car number, though. Depending what ride they had.
I guess, yeah.
It's not really a big deal,
But,
though.
I guess, yeah, but that just...
Confusing.
That makes it... Yeah, very confusing. But yeah, when it came to these cars right over here, these cars definitely can reach over 200 miles per hour compared to the current Cup cars that we're using right now that can make it go barely 180 and 190, which is really like downgrading the horsepower. And correct me if I'm wrong, if Dale Earnhardt was still alive right now currently, he would not like the decrease of horsepower and more restriction within the engine when it came to the restrictor plate.
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. No matter what, he would fucking be spies. You know, he'll be probably furious.
Yeah, I mean, during the time when NASCAR would boycott like the current teams, when there was that boycott going on, Earnhardt would actually lead it without any hesitation whatsoever. Because not only Dale Earnhardt is known as the Intimidator, he's also the rebel of NASCAR. Because he did gray lines that are technically legal within the race to improve his car and his team. And Earnhardt's got a lot of guts to say a lot of few things, especially with this iconic line. It took me over 20 years to win Daytona, but at least my name isn't Dick Trickle.
74, 94, 73.
Who cares it took me over 20 years to win a Daytona? At least my name isn't Dick Trickle.
It's like number 9 of Billy Elliott takes win there. But yeah.
Yeah. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, the $1 million Bill himself.
Yeah, right to our fat acts. One of our main reason fat actors that course, that in our season in general, and that's season 5, and of course, just the stuff happened alone in this season. First, of course, we'll go to good old rookies that we always start off. And this time we only had 2, and it wasn't really not much of a competition, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean, it was
But
only
he is looking forward and improving his car eventually, either this upcoming season or season 7.
yeah.
He did give it his best shot out there, especially at Daytona, when being the underdogs in that current Daytona race.
Yeah, agree.
And it was actually a really good sight to see, because when it came to Saber Rex's overall performance from all the seasons, he's been kind of washed in mid. So let's hope season 6 will definitely give him some good offers and definitely some good praises.
Yeah, we just hope for the best that, in general, that he doesn't be like that again, because, yikes, it was just not the best. We'll give you the result down of how each race they did, and how they perform, of course. So, of course, we'll go with Mr. Dante's performance here, and you'll try to figure out the math how his average finishing overall was in this season. So, Dante's first debut race was 41st due to the crash, fortunately going 4 wide, risking it with for runner and himself, going up and over, destroyed his car. Road course, he seems to, looks like in the second race here, he looks like he bounced back to a, let's see, okay. He went a little bit up in 39th. Dover, it seems he was still having a struggle, or was still making some ground. And that is 23rd. Riverside here, was where he was finally finding his momentum. 5th place, that was his first ever top 5. Then we go to Memphis, of course, and it looks like he really didn't have that much of a car, but he had at least a good performance, and that was a 14th. Then we go to Coca-Cola right here, it's Coca-Cola Speedway that we've been talking about. And that is, of course, he finished around a 25th, so he went down a little. Then we go to Pocono Regular. And we go, see here, he had, unfortunately, not really the best performance. He did let a lap, but unfortunately, he either had a mechanical issue or got in a wreck. Kentucky, this is where it really happened. And he had his first win, led a good amount of laps. His manufacturer teammate of Mr. Chief Gordon Ramsay helped him out for the win over Kaiser. Let's see, and then followed by that was the Phoenix. Kaiser strikes back, and then got onto the see Ames here. He had a good average 18th. It's not too shabby, at least. And then he won a 15th, so he went up a little more, so that's good. At the time, I mean, if you think of it. In Talladega, this is where it was pretty dicey. He gets in another wreck, unfortunately, like Daytona and a few other races. Then we go to Lowe's of Charlotte Speedway. And he was doing good in that first half, and then all of a sudden just struggled again. Going a 24th finish. Bristol, I mean, short tracks, half the time it's not your friend, or you just can't get the hang of it. And, well, he gets a 38th. Texas World, of course, he was trying to do good at first. And then the car again was just being his friend, 30th. Then we go to Verling. This is everybody's friend, really, apparently, on that track. Unless you're in a
Except
wreck.
for me.
And unless you're in a wreck. And, Dante, of course, gets a 13th. He rebounds back for a good, consistent 15th. Top 15 areas to top 20s here. Whoa, what is that? That car right there in the 90 of Ken Shredder. Slowing. He's slowing. Bill Hillen Jr. But, of course, North Wilkesboro here on he gets a 31st. Again, he's just dropping back and forth, not really being consistent. He's either in the top 20s or 30s now. And then we come to here, he goes for a 16th on Chicago, Illinois Speedway. And then we go to Homestead. And Dante again, just not really showing the momentum. He goes 30th, Daytona Night Super Speedway, whatever. He was showing some brightness, and he does. He goes a 17th, getting out of those 20 and low spots. Then we go to Le Mans, and this was just a crazy one.
Yeah, that's where we had the infamous Lightyear family, where Jeff Gordon Ramsay merged with the 33 of Wrecky Man, aka Mark, and became Buzz Lightyear, and his sworn enemy was the 33, which is called the Evil Emperor Zurg.
Wrecky Man Zurg, to be exact.
Yep, and then at the second Le Mans, that's where we started having the spawn of the Buzz Lightyear family. We had the 47 of Buzz Lightyear Jr. and the 172 called Buzz Lightyear the Third. And when I seen the overall performance from Mr. Wrecky Man Zurg, he tried to use his Hyper Death Ray on the Buzz Lightyear family, and the Hyper Death Ray did not work on him.
Yeah, kind of backfired.
So basically, he got the treatment of the Hyper Death Ray.
Yeah, in the first Le Mans race, he had a good 20th. I mean, it's being consistent on the mid pack at least at this time being. Then we of course go to our first Whistle Chase tracks of 1 to 10, and this is where he kind of showed his usual struggles again, and he goes down to a 30-6, unfortunately, and this is where it shows like Beans is slowly becoming the better man of the rookie than the other, and that is being better than Dante. And there were some glimpses. But there was some glimpses. He was still trying to show the proof he can do it, but the thing is, however, he just couldn't get the top 10s at least, and that's why he was just averaging a lot of 15, 16, like averaging the top 15, 20, and lower than that, because he had a 15 here on, of course, California, and Darlington here, he had a not really one of the best, but not the worst again. Still the same as usual, averaging in the top 20s, and that's a 17th, and then Texas rolled. Yeah, just goes down to the 30s again. 31st, and then Le Mans again here. He doing some good, and then all of a sudden just went downhill.
I guess you could say his performance went down like a certain starfish that got thrown to the ocean, with the last words of being heard before being thrown, "See you later, stinky."
Yeah, he gets a 22nd, and then Vernon again. He was hoping maybe Vernon can be his friend this time. But let's see here. Did it was it MVP or was it not? Well, let's see here. It was no. It was just a good old average of a 20th again. So he did average into that. Vegas, of course. This is where we had the unfortunate Mr. Plickety Plank Jr. cheated.
Yeah.
But he was somehow lucky enough to still make it through the end to bounce back up like it was nothing. He's like, okay, let me have a minor setback. Boom, comes back. We'll come back to that later. But Dante, of course, he had a 26, and then Lakewood, I don't think he did anything better. He did an 18th, and then Atlanta. Here, he did a 14th. That was higher than his previous ones, and then ended it all off here. He had a, let's see, a 21st. So, if you put on perspective of how his averaging finish was, it's pretty much almost a 18.3 or 18.8 averaging per race.
But meanwhile, with Lightning McBean's, allow me to go through for stuff for Lightning McBean's over here. Let's see over here. I gotta look up.
Let's go to
results
ping.
after.
Let's go to pings and hit to the home stand and scroll down afterwards. Let's see every track.
So, are you talking about like wins?
No, go to the
Top
results.
fives?
Results. That was what I was talking about.
Results after the race.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go to Homestead.
And then just scroll down, it shows Daytona, and then of course it'll show all the other races they finished.
Is it the pins?
And then go to the Homestead, and then just scroll on down.
Whoa, that's a little too high there. So the first race, we gotta take a look at that Daytona over here. We went over by, so when did we start at our thing? Let me check the schedule real quick. So we started Daytona on May 20th. Okay, so let me go ahead and go check it out real quick. The results are to the race right now.
Hey, Baller, how you doing?
Who just joined?
One of the new drivers in the Super.
Hello, welcome to our current podcast.
Alright, looks like the new driver confirms to be in the 42 on the Thunder Fire.
Yep. So currently, right now. So over here at Daytona, where we had Lightning McBean's, had a rough start. He finished at 35th from Daytona. But then he sort of bounced back within the top 20, finishing 11th at the road course. And over by at Dover, he managed to show up in the top 5. And he finished in 5th place. But then he bounced down to 21st at Riverside. Probably due to miscommunication. And over by at Memphis, that's where he bounced back up to 17th. And this is where things start to go a little bit downhill with the old Rusty's team with Lightning McBean. He finished 21st at Coca-Cola due to a wreck that he was involved with in the big one. But then things started to go a little bit downhill thanks to miscommunication and a wreck over by at Pocono. He finished in freaking 41st, which was probably the worst of his careers of all time right now. Then he finished up to 34th over by Kentucky, which was Dante's first win throughout season 5 as a rookie. But then things started to go uphill for Mr. Lightning McBean's when he finished in 8th in the top 10 of Phoenix.
Now, to be honest, though, that's when it was Kentucky, that's when it was like becoming the actual debate. Like, who's actually gonna be becoming the rookie year now? Like, now we got competition left and right. Who's gonna be really good and all that? And
Yep.
that's how it was going at the time being.
Mm-hmm. And now, right now, over by at Rocket Glen, he finished right up at, let's see where Beans is at. I can't seem to find it. He finished in the top 20. He finished in 20th in Watkins Glen. It was his first ever taste at road courses. Then he bounced it down, like his first ever worst one was at Talladega of all things. Probably gotten involved into a big one or a mechanical issue and finished in 41st again.
Yeah, it wasn't really
Then we went
the
over,
best for both of
yeah.
the rookies in general.
But then things started to bounce up with good old Charlotte, aka Low Speedway, where he finished up in 19th. Things started to get, you know what they say, what goes up must come down? That's when Lightning McBeans went down to 41st again at Bristol. And then at Texas World, it was a huge comeback, finishing within the 3rd place behind myself. The 3 driver of myself, he finished in 3rd at Texas World Speedway. One of the best speedways known to this series right now. Then we went over to Verdeling. He finished within the top 15. He finished at 14th at Evil NASCAR track. It was beneficial for him for a little bit. Then we went over to North Winsboro. That's when he finished up to 13th. That's where he shows a little bit more consistency with good finishes right now. Finishing at 13th again at Chicago. Then at Homestead, he finished in 2nd. He was so close to winning at Homestead, having his first ever career win. But due to miscommunication, it was the 93 taking it away.
Yeah, the
And at Daytona.
Yeah, Ventura just snagged it.
And here comes the Daytona night. That's when Lightning McBeans had his glow up at Daytona, finishing in the top 5. And at Le Mans, for his first intense race down there, he finished in 4th, almost clinching in the top 3. But Bobby was just showing off a few things that he can do. At Myrtle Beach night, things go a little bit downhill for Lightning McQueen's, finishing in 39th. That is until California Speedway. That's where he got his first win for the Rusty's Medicated Bumper Ointment New Rare Formula Racing Team. And then he went over to another win again for a back-to-back at Darlington.
This was the signs where, like, okay, it's like being slightly taking advantage of who he might be the rookie of the year over Dante.
And this is where it gets into the real kicker. Texas Speedway finished in the top 5 and 4th, containing all with the bonus points with it as well. And then he went up to have a little bit of an upset, finishing 32nd at the 2nd Le Mans road course. And another upset, finishing in 40th over at 2nd Verdeling Raceway right now. And then he went up to the top 10, finishing into 6th at Las Vegas Speedway. He almost went into the top 5, but Roadrunner just took that away. But Lightning McBeans finished up in 5th in the top 5 at Lakewood. And then over by Atlanta, that is where he went to a little bit of an upset, finishing at 33rd. over by down in Atlanta. And then at Pocono Night, he got his third win in the season at the final race of season 5. While not a Winston Chase driver, he got himself a good rookie season,
What is
having
it?
3 wins.
Stephanie Lefter will breaking news here, everybody. The Fire roster is now currently in 41 drivers out of 42. There's only one spot remaining.
All right, go ahead and do this right here.
Come on, finish off his Beans finishes.
Yep, I'll finish it off with the current finishes within top 5, top 10s within the season between 2 rookies. So everybody here, you can see Lightning McBeans having 9 top 5s throughout that entire season alone. And Lightning McBeans having 2 top 10s. Unfortunately for poor old Mr. Dante, he actually has 2 top 5s. But Dante, on the other hand, I don't think he has any top 10s.
No, unfortunately, that's why he was averaging in the top 15, the top 20s, unfortunately, and just he couldn't really get it going. And Beans averaging almost about I would say he went to like a 2.5, a 2.8 something average finishing per race, and unfortunately, as I said before, 18.8 or lower was fortunately for Commissioner Dante, and that tells mainly the difference. If someone can do the math of that and how their average finishing was on that, that's how it was for them, unfortunately. Now, of course, here's the wins here for every driver that was in Season 5. The opening season, of course, was Bobby himself, making the most craziest comeback I've ever seen. All of us, I would say, have seen that in the last 3 laps. ATM, Mr. ATM, and Mr. Bobby Simpson, or Simpson Bobby, was just in their little trying to duke it out, but they realized they did a little bit of a temporary allowance on 2 laps to go. And Kaiser, no draft, just try to cruise out of there. But here comes the 2 Chevrolets of freaking Lumas blasting off, coming into the heck straightaway, and then boom, out of nowhere, final lap, Bobby's in sight, and Kaiser's bumper, and it was just a battle of defense and aggressive offense, and man oh man, turn 3 and 4, it showed the final closing moment, and that was a finish to behold for Bobby.
That was a legendary moment for himself.
Now, Bobby did say he wanted to win more races. Unfortunately, he just came up short every time, and I feel bad for the fella. He did made it in the Winston chase, but just unfortunately the lack of the little bit of inconsistency made him that happen. Looks like we got our second caution in this race in the background.
And I wonder how that happened. There
Turn
goes,
2.
oh Lord.
That's
Turn 2 over here. That's the Buddy Baker.
Yep, Buddy Baker, and then
and there goes Rutman. Dale Earnhardt, he looks like he made it through unscathed. And there's Al Kawuki. He made it through unscathed, what it looks like.
I think it was only them, so I think that's it.
The one that's leading right now for this race is Levi Garrett in the 5 of his own car.
It's actually Bodine.
Greg Bodine racing for...
Garrett.
It was a Garrett?
Yeah, Levi Garrett of the company.
Okay. But what was the G standing for the
I think it's Greg.
for the racer?
Greg Bonan, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's
Greg. Greg Bonan.
Graf Bonine. Yep. So it's Graf Bonine leading
55
this
was
race right
involved.
now
50,
currently.
55 was involved. He had the header problem.
Ooh, so could a mechanical issue might have caused it? Because I've seen
Possibly.
Earnhardt actually did made it through unscathed, hopefully. Unless if we seen Dale Earnhardt actually have some damage.
Yeah, Earnhardt and maybe a few others. I think probably the
By
23 of
fortunately,
Fortune.
the 26 and 23. That was an idiot move that you just did.
We'll take a look actually because we didn't really saw it. It looks like it was back here.
Yeah, it was back over here. They were right behind Dick Trickle. There's Richard Petty. Mistake from the 26 of Rutman.
Yeah, not the best thing to do, honestly.
Yep. Just got up too close to the 02.
Surprised
Trying to go in.
Martin saved it right there, getting bumped to 26. But
Yeah,
not so much for Buddy. But not fortunately for Buddy Baker in the 88.
Yeah, poor old Baker just couldn't make it through. He just got himself collected. Oh wait, Earnhardt actually may have a little bit of damage on the back.
Yeah, it was probably that first wreck that happened.
Well, I will tell you this is the reason why Dale Earnhardt is not only known as the Intimidator, but also known as
blown out for the 55.
Ironheart.
Yeah, 55 of Parsons. Oh no, 26 died on the. Yeah, thank goodness for the tow truck there. 26 died.
Looks like we had to call tow meter.
They literally had to call him in.
Yep, and tow meter knew how to get it done.
But yeah, after that win, of course, Tank had one win. Looks like he keeps the streak alive on his end since season 3. So he's doing the same thing like Key the Magic Man. Speaking of Key the Magic Man, he is won consistently wins in season 1. He had about, let's see here, 3 wins in season 1, 2, he snagged 5. Season 3 is when he was now called actual Magic Man. He magicked his way through to 2, then got one on Rockingham on season 4, and season 5 he got another.
Yep.
So his streak is still going on the state, and looks like Tank is rolling with it. So that's
And this is where we had our third race over by Dover. That was my first win over by the season 5.
Yeah, and Shade went here. He won, I believe, finally career high with 5 wins to that, on that season, and glad for him. Speaking of tying with his career high, Isaac went 5 as well, so that's a congrats for them both tying it out. And then Sir Miles Axel, or Sir Miles Axel, he got 1. Same goes to Kate. She gets 1.
Kate had 1.
Dante, of course, got the Kentucky Kaiser guy, I believe 2. Or no, I think he got 1.
He got 2. He had 1 win. He had 1 win over here, over by a Phoenix, and that was a short track. He had himself another win at Watkins Glen, so that was like a back-to-back win right there. And then coming up next was his ultimate rival at Talladega. It was Key the Magic Man taking away that Talladega.
That was a unfortunate. I would say that was the only ultimate battle of the closest finish you ever see in season 5. It's not close in season 4 because that I don't know how we're gonna still top that off, dude. Because holy smokes, season 4 has some wild finishes, especially Vernaling for a tie of all things. Kaiser, of course, I think he had a super speedway one, not super speedway, but a speedway and 2 short tracks. I think, if not, it might have been a road course or so, but I'm thinking it had to be 2 short tracks because short tracks is his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the 15's trying to go in pits, nor the 5. But can't. Oh well. Then we got Q again. He had his win at Talladega. Puts it with a crazy Bristol one that happened. As far as he got
Yep,
in.
with
And
a friendly rival battle going on with his fellow teammate, with myself. We gave ourselves our best shot out there, and he won Bristol, of all things. Or actually went to Lakewood. Yeah,
Lakewood.
both me and him went over by at Lakewood, and we gave ourselves some friendly competition down there. That was his second one right there. His first win, of all things, was at Bristol.
Me and Shane were completely undershocked, and it was only a few drivers that, oh boy, 4-wide there. But female driver, of course, they were like crazy doing that, and I was honestly kind of shocked that Klitzo sneaked out of nowhere and gets the win on Bristol. I mean, it was still chaotic either way, but it was still again one of the best you would watch. And there's Reckon back straight away.
Yep, Dale Earnhardt made it through, but not many in the backpack is going to make it through. This is the big one at Coca-Cola over by the final straightaway for the start and finish line. I think there goes Darryl Walnuts over there.
Yeah, 17.
Or should I say?
Basically, freaking gets destroyed.
You mean Kawiki? Yeah. Oh wait, there's Alec Kawiki. I mean, he didn't make it through.
Parsons, he ran out of luck. There's Rusty.
Yeah.
There's Wilson there.
Yep, there goes T-Boys over there. Oh, there goes the 25 having a mechanical issue, and that's Richmond.
Yeah, Mr. Richmond. C quarters.
Ricky Rudd, it looks like he might have been involved.
See Argonaut involved. Yeah, Ricky Rudd involved indeed. 27.
And there
Rusty
goes
Wallace.
Rusty Wallace. He got himself involved, unfortunately.
I think that's.
And there goes Dick Trickle.
Mark Martin got involved. 71 was in it. I think that was everybody else involved from it.
Yeah, I knew Earnhardt was just about got himself collected, but he made it through.
That's 17 of a chunk of hits.
Yep. Well, over here back to the wins, we've seen Isaac went back-to-back win everybody at Charlotte again.
Ooh,
Or actually, this was the first Charlotte race.
Yes.
And then here comes Klitzo winning at Bristol. But here's a Speedway contender, 93 of Asher, who won not only at Texas World, but Evil NASCAR Track for back-to-back. And then you have myself as the Speedway King, winning at North Winsboro and Chicago.
Yeah, she got 6 wins. She's the one that took the most wins of this season. Beans with 3 overall. And of course,
Yep, and then here comes Asher going back-to-back wins again, but this is for 3 times in a row, winning at Homestead, Daytona Night, and Le Mans.
Yep.
Isaac over here won at Myrtle Beach Night, and that's where Lightning McBean's won at California.
How ironic, honestly.
And then he went.
Because California was his last race as a rookie.
Yeah, which for Lightning McQueen, yeah, for the 2005 season. And then we had Beans winning again at Darlington. And this was his second back-to-back win.
And then,
Oh, but here we have.
And this is where, unfortunately, his controversial happened. Having a little too much horsepower over the, because we always have the check. You have to have the same horsepower as everybody else, and unfortunately, he had a little too much horsepower extra in there.
let's just say he had himself a little too much of a cubic inch to fit in within the regulation. That's where he had an unfair advantage. A little bit of an illegal modification going on with the motor.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, after the controversial thing at Darlington, we had Isaac win the second race at Le Mans for the first time ever. For a Kansas native, he won at Le Mans. And this is where the biggest controversial race happened. And this is involving the previous winner from, like I said, in the second Le Mans road course. We had myself being the technical win at Las Vegas, making it my 5th win.
Yeah, 5th and final win of the season. And again, the only challenger there was Mr. Axel for getting it, and he was there, but he wasn't fully, getting the momentum he needed, and the only thing that would help him was a caution, and there wasn't that many cautions really on Vegas, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really helped him was like if there was a debris on like a big hit in the wall, or freaking whatchamacallit, if there was debris part, like how it happened on I think it was one of the tracks I call it on Verdeling number 2 or 1.
Yeah, I think it was the first one that we actually had a little bit of issues within the debris.
Yeah, debris.
I think it was the first one.
And the 21, of course, of Cloud, I believe, and his part fell off, and I felt it, and I knew, and then all of a sudden, right after we call in, we look at the 21 again, and he's poof, smoke comes out of him, so I knew like something was gonna happen.
Yep. And then Calypso won over by at Lakewood, and then Isaac had his final win within the season, winning at Atlanta. And last but not least, we had Lightning McBeans won at Pocono Night, winning the final race of the Winston Chase. Again, not a contender, but a good rookie year for good old Lightning McBeans.
Yep. He had a really good performance in the end of the night, and had a good season to end off to be a rookie of the year. And that shows you that Beans was the like after those 15 races, or I would say maybe just those top 10 in the races, he was just showing that we had our fair shares of being the 2 rookies and you being the commentation, but I think I'm done showing my low game and I'm showing the main game. And right there, and then that's where Beans just immediately took that advantage. But at the same time though, there's always our halfway mark, and of course whatchamacallit, the end of the regular season. And it's always, we say it as increase and decrease, but to make it more realistic, it's either they're going to get good parts, or they have to get some of their parts taken away. And they have to deal with, the parts they have to make do.
Yep. Either that, or they'll have to deal with either keeping their team alive, or firing some team members and replacing them with new ones.
Yeah, we're in season 6 here soon, in the Bush areas. We're still evolving, because of course season 1 to like 4, we're still developing mainly 1 to 3, but 4 was like the beginning of like our biggest step to like get to like realism, but also get to like what still happens in our side's view of what makes it work better on the series itself. And again, it's just, I think saying things like increase and decrease, like they'll be saying like, what do you mean by that? You know, I mean like we're just gonna talk about ratings, what days, but to make it more like fitting wise for the rating side of things, for senior ratings going up and down, you call them your parts and skills.
And team.
And for, of course, pit crew is the team, parts is your car, and of course the skills is going to be, of course, your driver.
Yep. So the default one that we're going to start within our second roster, we're going to have 60 at the minimum from all these categories within driver, vehicle, and pit crew. And at the max section, we're going to have them all maxed out so we can see some really good performance from all drivers equally, since this is our very own Busch Series.
And we'll see and find out how they do with about 60 minimum all and 190 and 80 on their, you know, skill.
Driver, vehicle, and pit crew, which in skill, parts, and team.
Exactly.
Which I would say SPT. SPT.
For short for, of course, those three categories.
And we have the official wheel, we call it, thanks to one of our honorable drivers here, the 28 of Jeff Gordon Ramsay, Buzz Lightyear Sr. He called it the Wheel of Fate.
Yeah, literally. It was this idea, and we're just calling it like the decrease wheel, just generic, whatever. But when we hear a wheel of faith, it caught freaking Shay's eye, like,
I'm just like, that's an interesting name. We'll call it that way from now on. So I called him a genius for that one. So that way it shakes things up. So as for Season 6 drivers, this is going to be the final time that we're doing our number of range category from wins to bonus points. That is included within their performance for the races overall, and their top 10s and top 5s.
mm-hmm.
So after Season 6, Season 7 is when there's going to be a reset. Just like how people are going to have to go through within our Busch series, it's going to happen within our main series, which is yet to be determined.
Yep, so just to make it pretty much fair, to be honest, so like all drivers in general, because we don't want, you know, half of those rookies, or mainly half of those drivers in the Thunder Fire to have a disadvantage, and we don't want the top dogs to be still like crazy and all that. We want them to see how they progress. We want them to see how good they can manage over the reset, because this is going to be the only reset because we're going to do on the Golden Rush, unless it has to be mandatory for a different reset. But this is going to be the main reset for the Golden Rush series for all drivers to have a clean, fair shot and see how they really perform at the end of the day. See how many you can pull off your top 10, top 5s, wins, and I'll reckon spinning on the 5 at Bow 9 there. He's going to wreck hard. Coming in there's more in turn 3.
Yep, oh dear, that's trouble right there. Earnhardt still made it through just fine. There goes the 7 and the 22. There goes Kyle Petty.
Bobby
and there
Allison.
goes Bobby Allison. And there goes Greg Bodine. And there goes Darrell Wattrip. Dick Walnut's finally blown himself a dick off.
But yeah, actually, let's see.
I guess you could say he came. I guess you could say he came his way out of the race. Oh, he was spinning like a Beyblade. At least he made it just fine.
Yeah, slow Beyblade. Oh no, that's why.
Yeah, there goes his bumper.
And he's just hanging there like a crickety cricket.
Just not sure where to get out, but thankfully Toe Mater got him out just fine.
Bobby Haaland Jr. is the leader still in this fantastic racing here.
And there goes Earnhardt in the top 5.
Followed by, let's see here, who's in front of Earnhardt? Here we got
There's Cale
Gant,
Yarborough. There's Garrett. There's Paul.
Aaron
And it looks like
Paul,
Earnhardt. There goes Ken Schrader. There's Mark
28.
Martin.
Turn is Yarborough. Gary Yarborough.
Fun fact. Cale Yarborough there in 1970, he was the 64 driver. And in our third season, we were racing in 1970. And that's where the only time in the Winston Chase I went to a Ford.
Yep, and it wasn't too shabby, but it wasn't the best, but...
At least it got me into the Winston Chase. And that's where it gave birth to Iconic's line. Run Runner when he makes it into the Winston Chase. Yay! But also see Shade showing up in the Winston Chase due to the wild card system. Damn it!
Yeah. Just that time on season 3 and 4, it was just the two, like, actual wild card spot, what was it, the sprint chase, or sprint cup, did it, at that time. But, at the time being now, we added one more, because, thankfully enough, you know, it was fun to watch, to have one more fella in it. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, having about 13 drivers duking it out than just 12 did actually look pretty interesting at the very least. Even though half the drivers were kind of inconsistent, unfortunately, but let's just hope next season, though, they can do better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, overall, I think you already all heard this. Champion, of course, of Season 5 was Isaac in 27. And the winner overall,
Yeah.
points-wise, was Kaiser. He goes back-to-back with that, so congrats to Kaiser. There's no doubt about it. Kaiser is going to be one of the top best drivers of all time coming to the future.
And one of the best contenders for season 6, besides Isaac and Asher being tied for second best, and the third best is myself. Well, the third, obviously.
Yeah. Kaiser, Kiyu, Shade, see, I would say also Roadrunner, fall with it, Viper, and Isaac as the, surprisingly, as a good high rider. He's been they're the top best drivers I would see coming in this season soon, but again, I would say the best top 3 all-time drivers that can get it done no matter what is, again, Kaiser number 1, 2 is Shade because he can get those ones no matter what and he can intimidate it, but the magic man is number 3.
Yeah, when it comes to the reason why Magic Man is called Magic Man, because he's got himself some black magic going on in season 3. But when it came to the Winston Chase, he just came in short, and his magic was not magicking. And it wasn't been magicking ever since.
It was
For a long while for season 4 until he finally pulled off his magic at one point, and then it happened as a repeat for season 5.
I mean, well, if it was season 3 to 4, yeah, that's definitely a good answer to it. But season 5, at least, he actually put up some effort, and his magic was at least doing well enough to keep into contention to the very end, at least. But just couldn't hang on and just get it to the very end. I mean, he had the slightest of chances to get it of the champion, but at least this time around, he went all the way to the very end, unlike his season 3 run when he was actually having a good dominant fight with his rival Kaiser, and he kind of really had not that much moments on season 4. He kind of went into a letdown, but still hang in there with the 91 because the 97 car was not there, and when he's in the 97 car, he's somewhere there, sneaking in, ready to see him out. Again, as I said, me and Nora said on Texas World, freaking, you don't see him out of nowhere, or slingshot out in your inside or outside. Where you see him in the mirror, then all of a sudden, You don't. Where you say? Oh, he's riding here outside, or he's riding here inside, or he's right in the bumpers, or he's right in front of you. That's why the nickname Magic Man.
And this gives birth to this iconic line from Call of Duty Zombies when you play as Nikolai. Now you see them, now you don't.
Now, of course, if you want to know every driver that finished in, of course, we'll give you their roundup at the end of the day of how their points ended off and all shit. Oh, let's see here. I'll get the positions. I'll get the top 20 position. Of course, I'll announce the point aids overall to how many points they had. So 0 to the 30 car. I'm gonna announce their total points they had, and of course position-wise, I'll announce the first 20th, and then Shay will take the rest on that, and take who had their amount of points and where they finished off. So of course here in the zero car of Boss Ryota, he had a total of 781 points total. Good, solid performance overall. Mr. Tor did a way better job this time. Of course, #1 Pizza Man. He gets a 676, so not bad. Of course, Sabier Rex, glad he didn't went to the 300 because that would be more bad. But he got a 445, and man, oh man, just what a big yikes in there. That he just didn't really did better than his underdog moments. Then we had Shane that was, oh boy, just shy on 1,000, but 995. Ting, of course, he had 965, I think. On his other one, I think he did better on that. Mr. King, Primcore, he kind of struggled this season, but I think he can bounce back. He got overall the 500 mark, so at the end of the day, if you hit that 500 mark, he at least did decent enough. And of course, Streaky Head definitely improved better after the last 2 seasons. Oh boy, he needed that. He did a 676 end of the season. Ace of Spades a little better, almost hit the 500 mark, but just shy of 3, and that's 497. Mr. White, he did a little better, but not just better than his other counter-wise, and that's 597, almost 600. So someone almost had 500 and almost had 600. Hollow, I think he did just enough better than his rookie year. He's slowly progressing. He had a 538 with Apollo. Sir Mel's Axelrod 908, pretty good for a third year of his third year on that season. Season 3 driver, of course, on a heads up on that, they are now going to be veterans going up to the Season 6. Owen the Hedgehog, of course, of Sabuku Owen, goes of a 741, not too shabby. Dante with a rookie start, 600 not bad in there, but he gets 619. But Beans, if you're going to hear his soon, of course, in Shay's side, it's going to be way different and better that rookie should have done. But fall forward, of course, towards one of his rivals, Toadit, the Fox. 678 points. Not bad at all. Came off at 852. Heck of a run after last one, honestly.
That's Kate.
Yeah. Hero, 500 mark, 554. He just did what he did. Good. Cloud, he did 443. Still similar as Saber Rex, so I just hope for the best for him that maybe he stays here and see if he can maybe do better. If not, he might take the last spot on the Thunder Fire, but who knows? Nazo, this is possibly, of course, his last season, and the last one is maybe see for him as a 640 not too shabby, but and he had some solid performances. He has a win on his belt at least, a champion. His baby, of course, to win. Last time we'll see Nazo as performing a good 600 at the end of the day, instead of below 500 or at least in the 500 marks in the 22 car.
Mhm.
We got Adam with 487. He struggled due to the lack of the parts he had in the car. He had some good moments at the beginning and midway and heck, even the end, but just not the moments you wanted to really see. Your championship, of course, on the 27, he had a 1,069 points. Well, Jeff Gordon Ramsay slowly progressing well. He had a 500 mark completion of 531. Viper records hits the 887. And of course, lastly, Bobby goes for 873. Very good performance in his last two. Or last three, I would say. Yeah, last three or so. Go ahead and take the rest away, announcing the rest of the drivers of their points, Mr. Shea.
Alrighty, so we finished off at Bobby, right?
Yep, Mr. Bobby. Next up, Mr. Ricky Zerg.
Ricky Man Zerg. Like what the host said, he finished over the 500 range. He's shown a little bit of more consistency throughout Season 5, but just couldn't make up the stuff. So he ended up with 648 points. A good way to make a little comeback going up for Season 6. Next up, the underdog, the GOAT himself, the guy who invented the plickety-plack, with 896 points, Mr. Roadrunner.
Or the yellow,
Yep. Unfortunately, like his IRL stuff that he's been going on currently, we hope for him for the best of luck, so his fate would be undetermined, but we hope to see him at the racetrack again, as he's one of the best drivers out there. Making a great rebound.
Ain't that interesting? NASCAR officials in this game just called him debris caution.
Yep. And over here for the 42 driver of Blitzo, this is his second year for racing in the Winston Chase. Just by a thread of a needle, almost made it to the 800 point mark, but just 1 point away. A good way to end it off, though, however, within the top 20. He would be a good contender for good old Season 6 that's coming up. As for Mr. Cameron, though, however, for the 43, for 464 points, that is not looking good for him at all. He didn't finish up in the 500 point mark like how most drivers did. So that's going to be a big yikes.
Yeah, let's go.
So for
look out for that. You can't again. If you're in that 500 range, right? You better hope for the best. You get some new parts soon.
Yep. Up next, we have the 47 of Red, who finished with 885 points. That is just exactly what the 47 of Red needs. However, he needs to step up his A game for a bit, because most drivers did actually made a lot more points than he did. But there are some that actually do need to make up some ground to be able to keep up with this guy. Up next, a fellow Pennsylvanian who's a teammate confirmed for Roadrunner, the 57 of Ken Lemon.
No, BRB at the moment.
With 864 points currently. He did caught up with the competition in his catch-up machine, but he just couldn't catch up overall within the endurance. Up next is a huge upset when it comes to the point range. 400 points exact for poor old Sonic DSV. He started off in one of the early seasons. I think it was when Season 2, or it could be Season 1, but I could be proven wrong by the host. He's the one that needs to hope and pray that he gets really good parts within Season 6. And coming up next, we have the 71 of ATM, who had 653 points. Made it over to the 500 point mark, and he's looking pretty good right now. But unfortunately, he's going to have to step up his A game as well. He needs to think about some way on how to doing it. Up next is the 75 of Kaiser, the guy that we need to look out for. He has the most points of 1,089 points. Once again, finally, for the first time ever, he beaten his record to be one of the first drivers to make it into 1,000-point mark. And he's one of the competitors that are likely going to make a back-to-back win for season 6 for the Cup. Now, as for the 80 driver of Terios, who finished in 463 points, not exactly what he needed, but he needs to hopefully get some better parts. And eventually, hopefully, he'll get back to where he needs to be. Kind of like how he was at, not at season 3, what was it? Season 2? I think he joined in season 2, but I'm not too sure. But this might be his career high in points currently, or as in performance, but again, it could be wrong. Then the one up next is the 89, the underrated dog of Atomic. While not a best career high in points, he did show off a little bit of a best career high for consistency, finishing off in 727 points within the top 20.
Of Mr. Unpredictable, of course.
Yeah, he is unpredictable, yeah. Almost making unpredictability a run of Key to Magic Man's money. Now the next one, a little bit of an upset, but did manage to pull through over the 500-point mark, is the 90 of Kenji. Honestly, this may not have been one of his best performances out there, but it is a lot better than the trucks and a lot better in the 70s?
73.
Because,
season 3, yeah,
because
70 cars.
Because back then, when he was racing, I think it was at season 2 or was it at season 1? That was one of his best career highs when it came to him actually getting wins.
And plus, he was a contender of all things, trying to get a win, especially season 1. That was like one of the best shots he would get a few times in that 77.
Now up next is the 93 of Asher, who also made it to a 1,000-point mark, making it to 1,074 points, who finished in second of the overall points. So we are expecting her to have some really good parts, really good skill, and most importantly, a very great team. Now up next, the 95 Rookie of the Year of Lightning McBeans, and finishing off with 876 points. There's no doubt about it that this rookie over here is definitely going to be a high riser for season 6.
Just like Isaac himself, so we expect him to be definitely one of the best contenders out there for next season upcoming.
Now up next is the 97 of Kiyu the Magic Man, who finished the season with 913 points. May not have been the best to beat going against this rival between Short Track Master and Mr. Consistency himself of Kaiser, but he did finish it off with a good note, and he's likely going to be one of the best contenders out there. While may not be the top 3 or top 5 best, he's within the top 10 best when it came to overall skill, overall strategy, overall pit crew, and overall car when it comes to the parts. Up next is the 99 of Ace. Granted, may not have been one of her best seasons, but it wasn't one of her worst. I would say one of her worst has definitely got to be the freaking season 3. Yeah, because that was like a huge low for her. So this was like a just a mid-season overall. So nothing too bad.
Even though season 3, she had that 1 year to win, doing a pole, and struggled and got the win.
Yeah, but even with that, that was like one of her worst years. Even with her not being able to have a win, she actually shown a lot more consistency than it was at season 3.
Indeed.
Up next over here, we got the host himself at the 105 of Leo, aka Blood Rocker, who finished off this season with 686 points. Granted, may have not been one of the best out there for, like, example of season 1 when he became the road course master, competing for the championship for season 1. However, for season 2, it was kind of like a little bit of a downfall for that section right there. And for season 3, that was the last ever time we've seen him consistently racing, and this was back when he was racing either as a Plymouth Superbird or a Dodge Daytona.
Yeah, Dodge Daytona, the 88, and then the only Pontiac really on the 59, I believe.
Yeah. But he did show up some good consistency as the Pontiac of the 105 of the good old import beer machine. And despite having some bad days with the high C machine, he actually ended the high C machine with a good note. And he's looking forward to having more skill as he's one of the best road course racers out there. And good car when it comes to good parts. And most importantly, a better team than it was throughout his racing career. His only best one that he had was at the first season of all things.
Yeah, I'm planning to hopefully get a win soon.
So we expect him to be a good high-mid contender at the very least. But he would be the top 15 best contenders, hopefully. Now for the next one, for the 115, the Bakumi, who finished off this season with 650 points. Honestly, not too bad for her. She did finish off in way higher than the 500 point mark, but just been kind of not at her best, kind of like how it was in the trucks. But at the same time, it's kind of like the same vibe with the trucks in a way. So that is yet to be determined of which season was the better, which one's the worst. I say they're about equal for now.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have the 172 of Mr. Jeff Goku. Ended it off the 5th season up here with 763 points. A very good performance. That was definitely a little bit of an upgrade from season 4. However, he did not finish with the Forever KFC fill-up bucket for this year to have 2 buckets.
Yeah, for reals. And for granted here, after the last time I ever heard a 5 machine, because since season 1 to, I would say 3.5, because the 5 in the truck did have some mechanical problems. He was the only main driver that had the most mechanical issues of all the other drivers in total. Because season 1, half of his races, boom, mechanical issues. Season 2, almost the exact same, but had a little less. Season 3 has his fair moments, and then season 4, or the last time, had at least a few but had its fair. However, 172, when he changed that car, he rarely had any mechanical issues. So I'm glad he changed to a different car, because I guess the team he had, and I guess they were just kind of treating him with very bad quality or reliability parts. Meanwhile, you have Tank in the 5, somehow, some way, gets the good reliability. So I'm just glad for him, for our boy Jeff Goku himself, did switch to a different car.
All right, now we're going to discuss about the overall ratings within how their performance was within points. So the one that finished with the first place in the most points is the 75 of Short Track Master of Mr. Consistency of Kaiser. It is to be expected that he's going to be one of the best out there, but number 1, that's definitely going to make my German Shepherd, who is the 75 biggest fan of the 75 himself, very happy to at least post the belt. In second place, who's in the most points right now, is the 93 of Asher. Asher is one of the first female drivers to actually make it to the overall 1,000 point mark and almost won herself her first championship, but just came in a bit short.
Yeah.
Coming up next for third place, we got the champion himself, the won his first Plickety-Plack, a Plickety-Plack Junior Isaac himself. He's done himself a good job out there, finishing a third with the most points overall. And here comes myself, the three.
Cole
Honestly,
wins it.
that that is pretty good. That is a pretty good high note from my ends. Definitely a best career high in my honest opinion when it comes with points. With wins though, yep, I do agree. But back-to-back wins, not so much.
Yeah, not too much back-to-back wins, but at least got the consecutive wins to get it all done at the end of the day to get
And
that, career high.
And for one, let's wrap it up for the top five for fifth place right now. Ironically, the number five. So we got the fifth who's in five right now is Mr. Tank himself. Now he's still going to be the aggressive Hulk Smash Company car driver for the rest of his life and truck too.
In general.
Because he'll probably be the most aggressive racer out there.
It all
Now
started. It all started really though in his rookie year in the end, when he got that more aggressive side of himself fired up, and he was battling out that rookie year over Arn. Man, that's when it really showed.
Yeah, especially when he was like the only
Oh.
Chevy Nova to be good to contend. That says a lot.
And especially what freaking at least for example, it peaked immediately in season 4 in trucks when he had the American, and then when he went to the Hulk Smash, it just boom, there it is.
Yep. And over by wrapping up for the top 10 for sixth place right here, we have the 97 of Kiyu the Magic Man. A good high note overall for the most points right now. In seventh right now, when it came with the most points, the 11 of Sir Miles Axelrod. What a great run for him. Definitely ended it off with a high note. And wrap it up for over here for eighth right now, we got Roadrunner himself. Definitely a lot better than the trucks, so he can't say he's washed in mid. He actually ended up with an underdog high note over here.
Yeah, 100%.
So he's likely going to be, he could be a contender for winning his second championship for season 6 if he's going to be still around. And up next for number 9, for ninth, is the 29 of Viper. She has been doing pretty good, keeping it consistent at most at her best abilities. May not have been best like season 4, but it wasn't at like, the worst one of them all.
Drivers,
So I do expect her to improve a lot more on most things for certain categories.
Indeed.
And for the final top 10 right here, Rookie of the Year, the 95 of Lightning McBeans. My lord. Definitely a good way to end off with him having a Rookie of the Year award. And he's definitely going to be a high riser himself.
Yeah, again, indeed he will.
Top 15 right over here. We have the 30 and the 11 for Bobby. Despite only having one win at Daytona, he can at least post something about that off for a little while longer. He's been doing pretty good. Definitely a hell of a lot better than Trucks in Season 3, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely the best career high for him right now. But he is driving, gonna, like you say, try to get as much wins as he possibly can to get his first cup. So I wish him the best of luck for season 6, excuse me. Now, over here for 12, we got Ken Lemon of the 57. He did caught up with the competition, having the catch-up sponsor, but he just couldn't catch up with the overall endurance overall. But regardless, he did finish up within the top 15, so he ended it off with a good note. Over here for 13th, we have the 19 of Kate. Honestly, a lot better than Trucks, and definitely a lot better in Season 3 and when she was a part-time rookie of Season 2. So it was definitely a hell of a lot of good performance over there. The 14th right now, the 42 of Klitzo. Definitely a high rise for overall points. Because if you took a look at Season 3 when he's racing as the 69 of the Chevy Nova, he just couldn't do it. I mean, no, there's no way. And for the top 15, ended it off right there, is the 0 of Bus. Definitely not the best overall, because Season 4, he was definitely one of the best truck drivers out there for his rookie. He was definitely one of the rookie of the year contenders, but sadly, when it came to the close voting polls for all the people within that server that we have right now currently, it just ended it off with a close margin with Isaac being rookie of the year.
Yeah, it was pretty debatable, honestly. The only rookie of the year so far that was available that we had.
Yep. And up over here for 16th, for the top 20, we have the 172 of our boy Jeff Goku. Definitely a lot better than Trucks, despite not actually having to win. He did show a lot more consistency, and like what the host said, did not blow up anymore. Only a few times when he got himself into wrecks, and that was the only time off that he got himself into wrecks, is when he blows up. And everybody here for 17th, we have the 15 of Akumi. Akumi did show off some good stuff, but she does need to perform a little bit better. The 18th place position right now for 89 of Atomic. Very unpredictable. That lad has got a lot of unpredictable skills, at the least that many of us would expect. So I do expect for him to actually be a little bit more better than Season 5. Now for 19th, 10 points overall, 105 himself, the host. Definitely a lot better than Season 2, and possibly a lot better than Season 3. Granted, he did not perform much well with he was a part-time driver for the 28 truck, but definitely ended it off of a very good note, and he's looking forward to improving with his team, his car, and his own skills. Wrapping it up for the 20th place position is the 18 of Toadette. I will say to this, Toadette's definitely got herself a good season, but it's not the number one best.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep. Definitely not one of the best ones, but hopefully it'll be better for the next season.
Alright, I'll take 21st one here. It's a good old Tyroo here of Toad of Pizza Man and Drinky Head Chili Beans. Yeah, these two were back and forth on their finishing. They were having their best moments, they were having their mid moments, and then their worst moments. And at the end of the day, they just performed well enough on the 21st tie. It's the people who really should took the 21st second, but, you know. The 71 of the ATM definitely improved in the past two seasons here today on that season, and he did a really good job at least going to a 22nd, because last season the 748 machine and of course the 48 machine with the CM3 and 4, and it was just not working him anymore, so he decided it's good. It was going well last season with the 48 machine, but at the end of the day, I think he had a good run with the 71 and Chevy. Hopefully be a contender once again. Or at least a contender, or be unexpected to be one of those underdogs soon to hopefully gets his first win ever, because man oh man, he is someone to watch. Kumi again with the 115. I expect better things. Not better than the rookie year, but just enough to like have a good performance. So we had Wrecky Manager being Wrecky Man as usual. He did a raw Wrecky stuff and a lot of things on purpose, a lot of things goofing around like no tomorrow. But I hope in the end of the day he can and just focus.
Well, the only thing I will say, he's going to try to make a Hyper Death Ray version 2.
Yeah, especially when it comes up to maybe one of the races, or heck, Le Mans. Yes, Le Mans is going to be hard to come back at least on 2 this time.
Yeah, because when I had it for 2, I think I made it myself a little oopsie.
Literally a big giant oops.
Yeah, as Markiplier would say, as you look it down to the earth with destruction. That's literally me with season 5 of the schedule with 2 Le Manses, and I'm like, oops.
But let's see here, of course, 25th place, again, possibly his last season. And Nazim with a 25th finish the other day. Not the best, but the worst the other day. Right down the middle of finishing, well, over a few amount of drivers, even over a few, of course, and some bets. So, at the end of the day, I think he has a good career in here. And just had a good way to finish. Why is this pause? Okay, it crashed. Wow.
Yep, anyways, back to the topic.
Yeah, the end of the day there. 99 ace, not too shabby at least. They did well enough. I expect them to at least do well. Again, I hope the couple team does better. But only time will tell, to be honest.
To your cars.
Then, following by that, we got Dante again. I hope for the best for this man to do better than what he did, because after that performance in general, I really hope that he can figure out what was wrong that he did in rookie year and just can hopefully, do better than he did last time. Followed by that, of course, we had Mr. White. I mean, he's slowly making progress what he should be doing after season 1 and 2 or so, but at the end of the day, I just hope he can hopefully have a better run, a better car, and we'll find that soon enough when the time comes with next season. For instance, with Red, he did a little bit better than last season, to be frank, and was this hope for 47 of Red there that he can do better than last time, and maybe beat over the other drivers he had. If not, he might be having a downfall. But that's just my guess. Followed by that, we got, of course, Hero in 30th. A little more better he did in his trucks, because that 48 truck was probably the worst. Made him where the point he wanted to pretty much change cars, and it kind of shocked me, to be honest. And keeping the 48, but I can't blame him that after having one of the worst runs after you're so dominant in the past 3 seasons, and all of a sudden, boom, you're like, what the heck was this?
As what Roadrunner will say, he had himself a championship hangover.
Yeah. Paulo, again with the 10, he made some improvements. I mean, 30s, yeah, not really like any movement, but again, he showed signs to actually be like a tender at the end of the day, in the end of the season, if you saw many times. But he was making just some mistakes in his rookie year, and that's kind of wrecking or kind of hitting too hard on your car, making it where you gotta kind of step up the game to not do that. Go to your next season. That's your first season. Followed by that, of course, with Mr. Kremcore. He was in the top 20s or top 15 maybe, and going down 32nd is not the best. That how you did it in your rookie year, and especially you were at least in the conversation, and now you just kind of went down to the Volker wires, and I'll be honest, if it is due to the fact that those penalties kind of screw you over, and you just kind of like he wanted to be more of a safer and just get this season over with and kind of get something going in the end of the day. I don't blame him getting too. If you're a rookie and you had too many penalties, to the point you were almost gonna like not get a race going. That's fairly understandable.
Again, championship hangover.
But after that, with current core is the twin of Jeff Gordon Ramsay. He also did some improvements over his whatchamacallit. After his improvement of dealing with a very bad truck, he gets at least a better, slight improved progress with the 28. They have one, and of course, a few amount of sponsors on the, what should we call it? Hornet, I believe. The fabulous Hudson Hornet. And then afterwards, you have Kenji again. He did the same thing as pretty much a few amount of drivers. Just hopefully he could do a little more better. Ace of Spades went a little downwards. This whole Ace of Spades doesn't do not worse than last time, and just can, hopefully can rebound back soon. I don't know if I feel the same way for him as a 36 plays for him. Cameron, he's pretty much has had only one good season. Afterwards, he's just back to his usual self, being that mid-pack, down-pack guy now. But he needs to make something going. However, Terrios has a season 3 and was it somewhere around 4? He was somewhat good, even glimpses of 1 and 2. But all of a sudden, this is probably his worst season yet, and I hope for the best that Steven Rex and, of course, Terrios and 39 to hopefully bounce back to have a better run than that, because man oh man, I don't think they deserve having that kind of, treatment.
Yeah, I do agree.
Speaking of treatment and having absolute horrible runs, that's the 21 and 70 of Cloud and DSV in 40th and 41st. Cloud at least did some decency, but oh my gosh, poor DSV, man. This is the worst season ever I've seen from anyone, and that is, he had was still like 300 and something, and oh my gosh, he got wrecks. He has the only slightest advantage of hopes he would at least get something with super speed, and that was it. But everything else, oh, I feel bad for him, dude, because especially the car, dude. I think the car this time with the 70, he thought he had a good car with the 70 car again, like he had in the season his rookie year. But after, I guess people saw, I guess the people in the 70 car saw, he did in 71 car, they decided, you know what, they're gonna have the same treatment but worse. So, bam, fucking hurt him right there, and just slap in the face right there, with bad parts, bad team, just bad overall. I mean, he had the skills, but just had one of the worst cars you would ever see by far in this series.
Without a doubt.
There has been worse we've seen before, but man, this 70 car alone DSV was probably one of the big ones that we have seen being that bad of a treatment and still be in the 300 range, because at least he can make a 400 range with a car that's somewhat bad, but oh my gosh, 300?
Now that's just asking trouble. Like, he barely made it to the 400 range, and he was at 400 exact.
Yeah, almost staying to that 300. It's just, honestly. Let's just hope DSP at the end of the day gets some better parts and better team improvement, and I know his skill staff was going to be just so out of it now because of that really hit the coffin, nail in the coffin on him. So let's just hope at the end of the day he can get better. Yeah, I mean that's it for, of course, the drivers themselves and everything. Of course, we'll give you a quick update. Of course, their overall of the wins here for favorite driver. We had a lot of drivers in this list. So, of course, your first ever driver had the win in the world, and of course, none necessary more is Mr. Fred in that 21 car at that time. Had 3 wins. Q the Magic Man with 12 wins, man. That's why he's one of the top 3 all-time bests right now. Following that Nuzzle with a good 1 win in the belt for Zeno. Mr. Xenoblader. Mr. Cloud, of course, he had a win in season 1. I believe it was the... Oh, yeah, the 45. And he had a interesting win at the end of the day. Toda has 3 in the belt. Of course, Xenoblader in the 74 had 1 win. Mr. Dustin at 32 with 1 season only. He had, of course, 1 win of the day. Kaiser, he has 6. Of course, he's more of a consistent guy than a winner guy, so that's why he has 6 in his belt in the overall. Me with 3 wins. That was only on season 3, and I'm hoping I get more, or at least something in the belt soon. Goku Jeff had 2, I believe, right? I think the 3 might have been only alone with season 4 when he finally was getting on a roll. And of course, Ace had 2, or 1 and 1 again, or so. And
I thought we were going through all of the drivers within season 1.
no, I'm doing their overall every season.
Oh, okay.
Following that, of course, Roadrunner's still one of the top dogs with knowing what he could do best, and nailing his rookie year in season 3. This made him go on straight up the wire, and that was, of course, 10 wins. It's wild that he's still by his day on his rookie year, and that was automatically when he got, like, what, in his rookie year on season 2. He had 3 wins, but when he goes to season 3, he had the most highest of rising of everybody. 7 wins with the after his rookie year. He gets the championship of all things. Freaking wild. But yeah, Roadrunner was the rookie year and a champion afterwards, and that shows that that kind of talent right there is definitely the best you need to see. Here, of course, he's one of the other underrated, consistent guys. Keelan was with 1 win, and surprisingly enough, I think that was probably his season with 2. He got out of nowhere, and that was it. And since then, I don't think K11 has really got anything going since then. And let's see here, of course, Mr. Keelan had 1 of the day. 7 wins for Vipers. After done with that 10 car and went to the 29, everything went farewell. And Danny, he's the one that, of course, now the free agent went to now a Division 2. He's right now currently standing with the Golden Rush wins with 4 wins in his belt. When he went to season 2 and 3 and 4. Followed by that, of course, Atomic had 1 win. That's when we saw him, the Mr. Unsuspected Man on season 2, when he had his rookie debut. Mr. Shea himself, the leader of the overall wins with 14 wins. That's why he's the second and best overall, all of the best in this place right now. Followed by that, of course, Shade and with 13, and then after that, actual Mr. Rod himself, 3 wins when he was on his rookie year, or 2, I believe, and then 1, of course, with the the 11, and of course, let's see here, Mr. Andrew with only 1 season, and that was the 36th of the Plymouth, and now it's Talladakes. Good for him on that. Then so Owens Canoe with 6 wins on the belt. Cameron with 2 when he was in the 43. I think it was worse to say 30 horse. So that's the only reason he got those wins in the first place, and I'm glad he has it. Not being winless, because if he winless still, he'd be having a hard time to get one. Tank was 7. Again, that's how we call him the high rank plays in the first place, and especially Mr. Oak Smash, the aggressive man. Rox is aka Mr. Pizza Man of Todd when he was his part-time freaking rookie, man. Insane. The first ever part-time rookie we ever seen getting the win in the end of the season. I was still about to say, I think me and you were just completely just blown away that we saw a part-time rookie and coming to their first ever rookie debut soon in the next season. It still shocks me by this day. Go watch Lakewood race number 18, race 28, I believe. That's race 8 of season 3. It blew our minds, dude. It literally blew our minds. When we're just thinking like, okay, one of the dominant or mid-pack guys are gonna come in. Nope, part-time rookie coming out of nowhere.
Yep, literally pulled up as a Lightning McQueen moment right there.
Adam with 1 win in season 3, of course. Mr. Key Pop with 6, of course. Mr. Isaac, because again, he had a 1 win, I believe, in his rookie year, in the end of the day. And then there comes the next 5 out of nowhere. Mr. Kylo himself, he had a crazy career of 4 wins, and plus he took away one of the drivers that were forbidden in the league and took that one away. Shinra Kuni in the rookie year took 1, so that was a good showing moment. Followed by that, we have Asher. She was winless, but we saw, I believe, she never had a win. And we're looking at ourselves on, I believe, season 1 to 3, season 4. That's where she got her actual first win, and then she continued on with that momentum with season. It was a season 5. And it was a very good, well deserved. And of course, Boston Real top of 2 wins, and that's where the conversation. 2 win or the 1 win, and then of course the top 10, top 5 debate of who's going to get that Rookie of the Year in season 4. And at the end of the day, we all know, and that was Isaac by the slight margin of the votes. 2 wins of the belt for Remington Boss. There were some moments that I think Boss had that he had some moments to try to win some of the races, but just couldn't figure it out in the season. But he was, at the end of the day, still good. And of course, Kirkhoff 2 in his rookie year. Bobby with that famous, great top 10. That great. It was a great Daytona win. That was amazing. We saw Kate with her first ever win on season 5. It was good to see her. She got her first win. Dante, of course, with the Kentucky. Klitzo with his first 2 wins, and Beans with 3 wins on the get-go on rookie year.
Now, I do spot a little mistake that you did right there. I see 2 mentions of K-pop
Yeah, cause
Music Entertainment.
yeah, that's why I said 6.
There you go. All right.
His first one again was mainly on his rookie year, and then 5, Ave, of course, was on season 5. It's like Kenny Schrader and Mr. Uh, King himself did a little oopsie in Pocono here in
Yep.
Kawiki. Trying to stay
But over here, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss about the season, each season wins. Since you discussed about them overall, let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and take care of this with season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Alrighty, I'm gonna be our man. Go after that. I'm gonna go call
So over here we have Fred, who had 3 wins within season 1. Key the Magic Man had also had 3 wins in season 1. Nazo had 1 win in season 1. Cloud had 1 win in season 1. Toadette had 1 win in season 1. Zeno had 1 win in season 1. This was an honorable mention for the one who participated in the Winston Chase in the main Golden Rush roster for about 4 seasons until he finished off the 4th one with his eventual retirement. We still hope he enjoys his wonderful retirement, and we hope one day eventually he'll join back in for racing once again. And we had Dusk had 1 win. Kaiser has 1 win in the belt as well. Leo over here, when he started the series, he had himself 3 wins. Red himself had 1 win. Jeff, aka Goku, got himself 1 win. And last but not least, we had Ace had herself a 1 win in the season 1. So there's a tie within most wins throughout season 1. It is Fred, Key the Magic Man, and Leo, tied for first with the most wins in the first season, and the rest of them, such as Nazo, Cloud, Toadette, Zeno, Dusk, Kaiser, Red, Jeff, aka Goku, and Ace, tied for second within the most wins. Now for season 2. This is where it gets interesting. The rookie debut in season 2, with Roadrunner having 3 wins, Aeon the Hedgehog having 1 win, Hero having 1 win, and Lemon having himself 1 win. Genie the Magic Man had 5 wins in season 2. Viper had 2 wins. FaZe himself had 1 win. Toadette had 1 win. Atomic had himself 1 win. Oh, there's a caution at the back straightaway. And it looks like over here that Bobby Allison might be involved, and he's in the grass. And we have myself in season 2 with the high rise of having myself 4 wins. So the one who gotten the most wins in season 2 for first place right now was Key the Magic Man, followed by myself taking 2nd, Roadrunner taking 3rd, Viper taking 4th, with Aeon the Hedgehog, Hero, Lemon, FaZe, Toadette, and Atomic tied for 4th. Now for season 3, this is where it gets really interesting. G the Magic Man had 2 wins. Sir Miles Axelrod, aka Axel, got himself 2 wins. Roadrunner got himself 7 wins. Hero got himself 2 wins. Andrew got himself 1 win. FaZe got himself 2 wins. Kaiser got himself 2 wins. Ace got herself a win. Aeon the Hedgehog got herself 2 wins. Cameron got himself 2 wins. I myself got myself a win. Tank, the Hulk Smash Company aggressor, got himself 2 wins. Viper got herself 2 wins. And here we have Tord, aka the Pizza Man, got himself a win. And Adam, the Ninja Wolf EX, got himself 1 win. So the one who won the most wins in season 3 is Roadrunner. The second ones will go to Sir Miles Axelrod, Hero, Kaiser, Aeon Adrog, Cameron, Tank, Viper, second. And the last ones for third is Andrew, Ace, myself, and Tordeke the Pizza Man. Now for the wins at Season 4. Now this one's going to be really interesting. I myself had 4 wins at Season 4. Akumi got herself a win. Ace got herself a win. Viper got herself 4 wins. Or, no, excuse me, 3 wins, sorry. Then FaZe got himself a win. Asher got herself her first win at Season 4. Tank got himself 4 wins at Season 4. Jeff, aka Goku, got himself 2 wins. Boss got himself 2 wins. And the Hedgehog got herself 3 wins. Crimcore got himself 2 wins. Kylo got himself 4 wins. Key the Magic Man got himself 1 win, and Todak got himself 1 win. So there's a 3-way tie for first. Myself, Tank, and Kylo having 4 wins. A tie for second for Viper and Aeon the Hedgehog. Tie for third is Jeff aka Goku, Boss, Crimcore, and the ones that are tied for third or fourth is for the wins is Akumi, Ace, FaZe, Asher, Key the Magic Man, and Toadette. And here we are over here with Season 5 right now. We have ourselves an intense thing going on over here with Bobby getting himself a win, as well as Tank getting himself a win. I myself got myself 5 wins. Isaac got himself 5 wins as well. Sarmaz Axelrod got himself a win. Kate got herself a win. Dante, one of the rookies, got himself a win. Kaiser got himself 3 wins. Key the Magic Man got himself a win. Klitzo's got himself 2 wins. Asher got herself 6 wins. And Lightning McBean's one of the rookies had himself 3 wins. So the one that had the most wins then in Season 5 was Asher, followed by a tie between me and Isaac, and then Kaiser, and Beans, and then Klitzo, and last but not least we have Bobby, Tank, Axel, and Kate and Dante and Key the Magic Man having only 1 win. So we got ourselves a little bit of high rising action going on with the 3 of myself and many more. But yeah, that was really interesting to see. Really interesting to see overall. Now the question is, who is likely going to have the chances of winning? Well, there's some predictions that I've came up with, and they're really interesting to look at. So over here right now, let me pull up the results from the points. I'm going to take a little gander at real quick. So we're starting off with the chronological numbers right now. We're going to start off with the 0 of Boss. He has a 59% chance rate of winning Season 6. With Tord, aka the Pizza Man, the number 1, he has a 47% chance of winning of Season 6. The number 2 is Sapier Rex. He's got a 28% chance of winning Season 6. The number 3 of myself, I have a 79% chance of winning Season 6. The 5 of Tank having a 77% chance of winning Season 6. The number 6 of Crimcore having a 35% chance of winning Season 6. With the 7 of Draken, he has a 46% chance of winning Season 6. The number 8 of Ace of Spades has a 32% chance of winning Season 6. With number 9 of Mr. White has a 38% chance of winning Season 6. The number 10 of Apollo has a 37% chance of winning Season 6. The 11 of Axel of Sir Miles Axelrod has a 70% chance of winning Season 6. The 15 of Aeon the Hedgehog has a 55% chance of winning Season 6. The 17 of Dante, he has a 41% chance of winning Season 6. The 18 of Toadette has a 48% chance of winning Season 6. And 19 of Kate, she has a 67% chance of winning Season 6. And over here we got the 20 of Hero, who has a 29% chance of winning Season 6. The 21 of Cloud, he's got himself a 28% chance of winning Season 6. The 22 of Nazo, if he were to still compete, he would have a 43% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 20, or the 22. He has a 43% chance of winning Season 6. The 26 has himself a 34% chance of winning Season 6. And the 27 has a 87% chance of winning Season 6. The 28, the 28 of Jeff Gordon Ramsay has a 33% chance of winning Season 6. Up next we have is Viper, who has a 68% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 30 of Bobby, who won at Daytona for the first time. He has himself a 71% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 33 of the Ricky Man of Zerg, who has a 47% chance of winning Season 6. And Roadrunner himself, the underrated dog, the GOAT himself, has a 69% chance of winning Season 6. That's a very nice number, I'll tell you that much. Up next is the 42 of Klitzo. He has a 60% chance of winning Season 6. The 43 of Cameron. He has a 30% chance of winning Season 6. The 47 of Red. He has a 39% chance of winning Season 6. The 57 of Ken Lemon. He has a 61% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 70 of Sonic BSV, who has the lowest percent rate of winning Season 6 at 25%. Up next is the 71 ATM, who has a 41% chance of winning Season 6. And up next is the 75 of Kaiser, the short track master, aka Mr. Consistency. He has a 90% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 80 of Terios. He has a 29% chance of winning Season 6. Coming up is the 89 of Atomic. Despite how unpredictable he is, some analytics suggested that he is a 51% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 90 of Kenji, who has a 34% chance of winning Season 6 if he were to still be competing. Up next is Asher of the 93. She has a 87% chance of winning Season 6. Up next is the 95 of the Rookie of the Year of Lightning McBeans. He has a 66% chance of winning Season 6. Up over here is the 97 of Keaton Magic Man. He has a 70% chance of winning Season 6. Up next we have is the 99 of Ace, who has a 43% chance of winning Season 6. And over here we're finally making it to the triple digit numbers. we have the 105 of the host himself of Leo. He has a 49% chance of winning season 6. Up next we have is the 115 of Akumi. She has a 45% chance of winning season 6. And last but not least, we have the 172, who has a 57% chance of winning season 6. And this is what the our statistics are showing by analysts around our team are suggesting that Kaiser has the most probable win rate to be able to win season 6. But he's not out of the woods yet because he's got the 93, the 27, the top best contenders that will compete against Kaiser for the win of season 6, as well as myself being at 75% chance of winning season 6. Really interesting. But nevertheless, it is super interesting to see, and it's really awesome to discuss about predictions of who would actually win within the seasons regardless. Excuse me. Oh, God. I do deeply apologize for that. That was a chaotic sneeze from my ends. Ugh. That was terrible. Ugh. I'm going to need a towel for this. But yeah, I do hope I can get myself my second cup, and I sure hope it's season 6. If not, then my best bet will probably be at Thunder Fire or season 7. But yeah, nevertheless, I do hope everyone at Thunder Fire will have an equal chance of winning the race. I hope everything does pretty good. I am right now currently waiting for Leo to come on back. I will give a shout out to a friend of mine. I will do a little live stream with him if he's wanting to join in or not. But yeah, I might be hanging out with him. I might do a live stream. So yeah, there's that. And I sure do hope everything goes out that's the way it should be for season 6 for our racers in the Golden Rush.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you hear about the percent ratings of who will win season 6?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on them overall?
Definitely some good takes, honestly.
Yeah. So Kaiser is most likely, according to our analysts for statistics, is looking pretty much a very lucky win rate. But he's got to watch out for the 27, the 93, and the 3.
Yeah.
Because they're well known at changing it real quick.
Yeah, I bet. Or is it the wrong thing? Oh.
Yeah, at least it's not our main races for season 6 or Thunder Fire. And I
Yeah.
do deeply apologize. That's him screaming at the dogs because they won't shut their snouts.
Yeah, I fucking I muted the Famajig with my mic. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for the most part, I think in the end of the day, though, we do have at least one more spot open. 41 drivers out of 42 on the under fire. Of course,
What a great way.
the votes, of course, is still underway of which one is still going to be there, but it's most likely going to be the Winston Cup 98 of set 97.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a chance to see it. We have about 24 hours, but exactly it's 26 hours left, but 24 hours in soon. That means about almost
Yep.
one more day until it is done. For the votes, and it's
Yep.
gonna be good to go. Now, sign-ups, of course, are still closed until further notice. If the ones, of course, most majority, I think most majority of the for drivers that we're like are gonna have the most. The ones that the veterans that started like lower, or if there's like some Thunder Fire drivers that want to at least try to get in like at least 3-4 drivers, so we can have a rookie year contest for that season. We'll see what drivers will just lay back and take a break for now. I know Cloud and DSV are the top two ones are definitely looking for in that top chopping block, but if they're still able to rebound back their mentality, then there's mainly no doubt about it that I think they can try to at least maybe try another season.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, of course, there is Shade's one friend that is technically was supposed to take the one spot. Fortunately, he can't make it on time. Then I think one of the veterans will take that spot at the end of the day.
Well, I'll discuss with him about that in person, see if he's gonna be able to join in or not. But I am still looking forward for him to join in. Just gotta give it due time until he's able to come in.
Indeed. Yeah, when it says closed, signs will be still closed. Signs probably won't be open until his friend will be here around due time until the final answer, because that's where the final spot would be cleared. So, let's see, what day is that birthday on his end?
Mm-hmm.
What day is his birthday?
September 28th. That's his 23rd birthday.
So that would be about, let's see, 28th, that is about a week from now. Not a week from now, but pretty close into a week.
It's about a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A week and 5 days away.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, until then, that's what we're gonna have in mind. Now the further notice, of course, when we're gonna have that new improved whatchamacallit server. Well, it won't be open until I would say season 2 goes underway or gets ready soon. So I would say a week from a week a week prior. That's where, of course, we'll have the new server to be in there.
Interviews and a little bit of action going on.
Yeah, of course, we do have the backup part of it, still having the classic VC part of it. So if we'll be probably switching back and forth on races on the stage thing, and of course the VC itself. So we'll have just that and I think the VC one is definitely like, if y'all know how the NASCAR the NASCAR itself goes.
Radioactive.
Yeah, radioactive, all that stuff, etc. But mainly more like how they switch their television, right? We go to like stage, for example. That's like for example, think of Fox Sports. The stage place is gonna be like Fox, or and then like NBC or U.S. Network, of course, or TNT. For example,
NBC.
exactly would be like the VC area. Of course, the only thing that you won't hear, of course, is the sound boards, but of course you'll still hear sponsoring, saying sponsor of Plickety Plack of F the Pit Crew, and of course Canadian Healthcare.
And there will be another thing that will be showing up eventually. Is something that we kind of did for our first and second season, and we're bringing it back. Driver interviews and questioning about strategy, uh, yellow cautions, situations, and their reactions of who won, who had an upset, and so on and so forth, depending on if they're able to join in or not.
Yep. So.
But I will speak on their behalf about current situations, about what they're being interviewed about, as I would be their guy, their receptionist, if they're not gonna be able to, use a microphone to be able to speak, if they're fully locked into races. So there's that. Now for scheduling, that's a little bit of discussion that me and the host are gonna have to discuss later on whenever I'm not too busy.
Yeah. We're not gonna have it happen just yet on scheduling. We're not sure. But one thing for certain though is it's definitely not gonna happen on camping days, to be honest, because that's where it's like you have to wait for me for like the next whole week, unless it's like the day it happened prior of
Yeah,
how I did it on my football fantasy day. If it's like on that day Pacific, then or like the day after that as well, with the two races beforehand on camping, then it will still be arranged. But if it's like on our that day specifically on camping or days that are just busy to not be used at all, then it would be not arranged at all for that time being. That includes some of the holidays, and unless like we're not really celebrating with anyone and just we're celebrating here, or any of the days watch outside, all that.
yep. But I will say this: I sure do hope my bud King Will can join in. He said it's a maybe, and he's gonna give me an answer eventually. I will ask in person if he and I are gonna be hanging out again. I got my bud Tim into the Thunderfire series, so I hope everything is gonna go out pretty smooth. Everything's gonna go out pretty well, and if he's able to join in, I'll show him the numbers that are available, and he's gonna roll with one of them that fits the bill, or if not, it's not gonna fit the bill.
Yeah.
So, so the numbers that are gonna be available for Will is the 9, 10, the 15, the 28, the 38, the 40, 45, 59, and the 74 car. So I'm just waiting for his final call, for him being able to pick which one he's wanting to get, and we'll see what goes on from there.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, everything's going to go out pretty smooth, and I still hope he's going to be able to join in. But at the end of the day, that's his choice. And if he's not wanting to join in, I'll give Leo the word, and it will be open season for the final spot. And I will say to y'all, eager people that want to join in, happy hunting.
Yep. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Until then, really, we'll keep you on posted mainly on the server, or here and there if you want questions on that, etc. Just let us know, of course. I think if everybody, if you want to hear from this podcast, of course, preseason podcast won't come out the preseason predictions podcast won't come out until probably the next 2 weeks, probably the next 2 months, or heck, depending when it comes on that day. But we'll figure it out soon enough. Um, Mic mode, of course. I think I'm most likely going to use this white one soon. Probably use a white one, but depending how my etc. and moon wise, I think depending if I'm gonna go to the noise suppression or non-noise suppression, but because again I was a commentator with the Walmart leagues, partnership with that one, and when I did my green one, I heard myself and I'm like, oh boy, yeah, you can barely hear crap out of me, so I had to use the white one. So I think
Uh-huh.
I'm probably gonna use that one. Yeah, but at the same time, of course, this mic has been having some minor issues here and there sometimes when it can't really pick up, even though I'm talking at a good majority of the speed.
Oh boy.
But yeah, we'll just see what happens and see what I got in mind. Hope I get one of those better mics, but that's the time I wish I had a better desk like to put my mic at. But that's just a thing in the future plan. Let's see here. Wednesday, or I think, or yeah, Wednesday is gonna be interesting to y'all because I did mention this a few times, or once a few, and that's I'm gonna try out a 24-hour stream, or be on depending how it's gonna go, and that's gonna be interesting the day. I think the main top games we're really gonna play is definitely gonna be Gilbert is number one because that thing I can stay idle no matter what at least. But there's a few other games we'll play in the end of the day because it's not just gonna be a chill. It's not gonna be a gaming in chat adding and live stream. Unfortunately, I think I'm not gonna go full on all night on this, so you might see me in the stream in the background.
Asleep.
Yeah, sleep. So again, you can chat with anyone who's in my stream, of course, or in the chat, of course, and all that. So we'll see that at the end of the day. So
Right.
that's gonna be
I
fun.
might join in and might suggest a game. Um, Maybe we could do some Xenoverse 2, or maybe some Call of Duty Zombies together, for old time's sake, as usual. Either depending you're with Black Ops or World at War.
Well, again, it's gonna be streamed on my PC, so
I mean, could you be able to play Xbox games with your PC by any chance?
um, probably some. The only I know the only like two, two or three games that we could play together is Minecraft and Minecraft, Roblox, mainly like racing games or whatever on there, or
Yeah,
shooting games.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Because I know we got Draken playing through his PC, and he was able to play Xbox games through his PC.
yeah,
So
depending what.
the way how I would do it honestly is that if you got your Xbox with you, try to plug it in with your PC through the HDMI cord. See how that goes.
Yeah, there's the thing. I don't have a long freaking Xbox HDMI cord because
Oh,
my
damn.
yeah, because my Xbox, remember, it's in the downstairs living room, and I probably have to
Uh,
freaking have like one of those one of those freaking cords that you plug the Wi-Fi into, like either your PC, Xbox, or whatever.
uh-huh. Yeah. You
Yeah.
talking about the Ethernet?
Yep. Yeah. If it was like that size, like the internet cable, all to like have a good reach, then yeah, it would possibly be maybe possible, but unfortunately, I don't think it would work well enough. But again, I still have at least few games that I can cross play. I probably have to figure out what games on Steam that are also cross play with, or games in general that are cross play for what you might call it for gaming. I know. Let's see here. I know Mario Rival is one of them. Let's see, Helldiver is one of them.
Yeah, I'm
Mario
planning to get
Rivals,
Helldivers when I get enough storage, if possible.
yeah. Um, yeah. What you might call it? Yeah, Mario Rivals indeed. War Thunder is one of them. Phasmophobia, I believe, went cross-platform now. I think. I'm not 100% certain because I haven't kept on updates on that. I really recently.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. I think that's the rest of them I can think of. I think Among Us is one of them we can play together for all time.
Yeah.
Let's see.
With that iconic line that we remembered a long time ago, "Screw my liberty, but dinga da."
Literally.
I'm literally surprised I actually remember that, despite it being so long ago. And this was back when I was playing Uno Freak with you and a few others back in the day. And I made you rage, and it got to the point where I made you broke your headset.
Yeah, that was going near end of that. It's I think when I said Super Mario Loaded in Gaba, I literally fucking said that at around like 2020, and that was just wow. What the actual flying fuck that I just said now on that
Yeah,
day
and
was
another,
hilarious.
another another thing I would point out, just for funny ha-has, is the way how you will never forgive me for that till this day.
Yeah, mainly just due to the fact that if they were still producing, it would be forgiven no matter what. It would. Um, Knock it off, dog. I'm serious. I'm putting your damn crates. Anywho, but yeah, it would be absolutely hilarious on the end of the day on that. But the reason why, if I can at least find another pair like those, then at the end of the day, that thing will be gone. I mean, the reason why I already forgive but it's just the reason why it's just a part of it that's I think the only frustration I get at this point is because I don't forget on the other side part of it and on the joke wise at this point is because again it was only one of the few left I think not few but it was like I don't know if they got disconnected or whatnot and then plus that was like the only thing I sort of not really done and yeah there it is I just fucking I do that.
Yeah. And I still laugh at it till this day, and I still piss them off about it.
Yeah. I think one more chefs this may be cross platform.
Just, just like how he does it to me with this terrible game called Project Cars 2.
Mm-hmm. Even though you have good fucking internet, I bet you it might be doing a little less than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done so terrible about it, but I just gave up at that game on honestly at that point.
You're like, yeah, no, screw this.
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck this. I'm done. I'm out of here. As a good old Carmen would say, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Let's see here. First Ascendant's definitely probably a cross platform. I'm thinking.
But
Uh,
yeah, if we can't play games, at least I will do is host a live stream in honor for my friend's birthday, and we'll have like my old traditional way. Just have like a simple Q&A live stream. It'll be like for versus topics for who would win in a fight against who versus who. Just to throw out ideas and not make my streams boring.
Yeah. Rec Room is definitely one that we can cross platform.
That is true, yeah, but I think that game is inactive, but it wouldn't hurt to give it a try.
Yeah. So I think it's like it's just a game that feels like it's more of that like free version of Gmod.
Yeah, and it's like the Microsoft version of Gmod. I know for a fact because I was actually able to play Gmod. And one thing I actually do wish that we were able to do, since we all have Gmod, is do our own silly races and funny moments in Gmod.
Or heck, freaking.
Kind of like
This is what I do in Gmod as well. Is like, here you go. You're surviving this freaking zombie apocalypse waves, or you have only a small squad and you're going against a freaking a ton amount of freaking which would call it enemy forces and think about squads, but you're doing what is it like spec cops combined with squads and all that, and you can call in for reinforcements depending what you call it depending amount use depending the amount of waves you survive. For example, if it's 5 per waves, you call in reinforcements or set up better fortifications. 10 waves, you can unlock at least 2 to 4 weapons. If it's a big weapon, it takes 2 of those unlocks, and one unlock is like one of those smaller weapons, like a sidearm or a SMG. That's like not like too big. For example, the P90 is kind of big, or some kind of under gun, for example, the MP5 maybe, or something else like what kind of some of the SMGs are big. So, I think for example, you get the Uzi or the MP7. Those are like those small ones you can get. The automatic Glock. I think that's like a mini version of SMG, just goes off full on
that. Or we could get the best weapon from World at War Zombies, the BPSH-41.
Yeah, that one, of course, would be a 2 slaughter. No,
but yeah, either we'll do that, or we would do like funny moments running away from next bots.
Yeah.
How you'll see try to run away from people that look like freaking PNGs of all things. I really would be like, just have fun at it, try to run away or try to kill them in any way possible. One way I try to figure out, like, if there's a way to kill a next bot, I summoned like 4 to 5 to 10 nuclear bombs at once and nearly crashed my laptop. But somehow my laptop didn't fried itself and went kaboom. And surprisingly enough, that next bot PNG looking ass is still alive, and I'm like, keep in mind it's my first time trying to deal with a next bot, and I'm like, how? And I press the right button to remove it, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. Good going, Shade. You're a fucking genius. And I say it to myself in a sarcastic tone. But yeah, holy shit.
But yeah, we'll get you more informed again on Ace and our predictions soon on the podcast, etc. We'll keep tabs and mentioning, see who joins in. If there's one new guy that takes that one spot, unfortunately, then we'll just wait and see what Will wants to try afterwards, and we'll probably give him maybe a spot in the Golden Rush, see how he runs instead of that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about having him be put into Thunderfire just so his teammate Timinator would still be there and, help him out here and there if he can. But hey, I sure hope those two lads can actually have themselves a win or two or more and be consistent and see if they want to join in the Golden Rush or just stick with the Thunderfire.
Well, in the
Because
Golden
I
Rush
gotta
in
say,
in the Golden Rush in general, only about 3 to 5 drivers, depending how good you are. We'll get a transfer in. See if you are gonna be willing to be good enough, because again, plans will be there is plans future that again when we have a 4-on-5 division and in general this is gonna be a new system in general. So if if you go pretty bad, depending how it is, if it's a 400, and I did talk about this once for a few. If you're below that 500 range, you're gonna go down one division. For example, if you're in the 300 range, you're going 2 divisions down. If you're 400, it's only one. You're going one down. But if you're 500 range, You're still in the 500 range or more. You're still stick in the big league of Golden Rush. That means you have another shot to at least stay in it. So it's pretty much a thing that you have to eventually have to try to get that 500 goal, because it's gonna be pretty hard to do it depending if you're gonna be very inconsistent. For example, what happened to Board, DSV, and Cloud, and Saberx and Terra. So that's just a little example. If it happens to any drivers like that, they're gonna go division down. Now this is pretty much the prediction of it. The muscle cars. This is gonna be a pot twist. Yeah, pot twist. Here you go. The muscle cars, either the Hobby Stock or the Arcus, are gonna be the third divisions of our third roster. Fourth roster of the fourth division is trucks, the main trucks. And the fifth one is either gonna be dirt, or depending, we want to still stick with the trucks with the similarity, and that's a different truck, mod.
so this is how it will work. Our main roster, the Golden Rush, is our main NASCAR league. It's the big boy leagues.
Yep.
The second roster is going to be our Bush series, is the Thunder Fire. The third division, we'll call it our Arca series for the car section.
Arca or
And then
Arca or muscles, depending what we're thinking.
I'm thinking of Arca because there's two versions of Arca, and we could save the other version of Arca for trucks. And then we'll have our third roster for being the main car Arca series. We'll call it the Arca Menards series. And then our fourth roster will be the Craftsman trucks. And our fifth roster would be our Arca Plickety Plack truck series. Well, of course, not Plickety Plack, but we'll call it the official sponsor eventually. We'll come up with an idea as we go by.
Yeah, names we'll figure out on the next two. I think Arca Menards is definitely a fitting for the third one, honestly. Bring one of the main sponsors.
Which is a big inspiration for the from the What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive series.
Yeah.
So this one was an inspiration from the Divided Ending from a very talented YouTuber. If I could find his YouTube channel, I'll give him a big shout out in the stream over here. He proposed two different scenarios. This scenario will go by as normal if we didn't have Dale Earnhardt running his own league. So this one would be ranging up from 2016 to 2021, prior to that time. And this is the time where Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeffrey Earnhardt were racing till this day until prior to 2020s when not Jeffrey, Dale Earnhardt Jr. announces his retirement after finishing the 2020 series, having Jeffrey Earnhardt being the only Earnhardt out there for Richard Childress Racing to be participating for future NASCAR events. Until one day, Dale Earnhardt Jr. showed up as a one-time driver over by Daytona as the number 81 driver for Richard Childress. And unfortunately, due to having a bad day and him being a one-time off, he's gonna wrap it up and call it a day and head back to being part of the Richard Childress team while running Junior Motorsports. Another one, this was a divided ending, so this is a what if inspired within the what if. So this is to where um, during the 2016 season, this was the inspiration for the boycott that happened in real life NASCAR. And this what if, this is where Dale Earnhardt and majority of the NASCAR big hitters were actually in support of the boycott of NASCAR due to their unfair regulations and the rapid changes, and things are just not looking well for not only for drivers but for teams as well, for their safety concerns about the performance of cars, the direction how NASCAR was going to. So that just led to the point where Dale Earnhardt set his foot down, and big teams such as Joe Gibbs and DEI were actually came to an agreement to be presidents of the ARCA Menards series. And this is where ARCA Menards and the current NASCAR Cup series were at war to see who would get the best spots and the best fame on national television and overall the viewing of the world. And in that what if, ARCA Menards has actually been pretty good with Dale Earnhardt actually being one of the presidents with Chip Ganasky as well, and Joe Gibbs being part of it as well. So yeah, in the ARCA Menards series, this is where they actually had fourth gen Monte Carlos and a Ford Tartarus and the Dodge Charger, and maybe Toyota was there too during the first half of the season until Toyota decided to switch away from the ARCA Menards. And this is to where Dale Earnhardt and the other presidents were coming up with a new project. And this project was called Power Car. And this Power Car was bringing up a car manufacturer from the grave and bringing it to NASCAR, or bringing it to the ARCA Menards. But yeah, this was like a very interesting what if. I would continue talking about it, but I will talk out of my ass about it, and this stream will go on longer than usual.
Yeah.
But this is a really interesting thing. So another announcement, this is going to be confirmed for the series. We're going to possibly have 5 divisions. So Division 1 is going to be the Golden Rush that we all know from Season 1, back in the past.
Yeah, all the cups that was on the cups. That goes the same on Bushes.
Division 2 would be our Bush series. That will be our Thunder Fire, which would be the confirmed name. The third one is the ARCA Menards for the car series. That's currently in the works right now. Our fourth division, trucks. And lastly but not least, our fifth division is going to be our ARCA Menards Truck Series. Or unless if we have an official name instead of Menards, we could call it the ARCA Xfinity Trucks or the ARCA O'Reilly Trucks, whatever that fits well for the bill. Or we could call it the ARCA GM Goodwrench Truck Series. Or the ARCA Wrangler Truck Series.
Again, Division 4 and 5 will have their name, but ARCA will definitely have the name Menards in there.
For Division 3. Yep.
But in that fairness, it's definitely gonna be done right there. Now the testing wise of it, there's gonna be some testing of it. There is some leagues that, of course, we might most likely not have any of that amount of just drivers, aka members in general. So there's gonna be a bit of a test. I'm gonna put the test there soon. Have my buddy again, co-host Sid here, me and I. I'm also gonna grab one of the few Thunder Fires and few Golden Rush guys. Like for example, my boss Roush House Racing on the Walmart early Pawn or on whatever you want to call him. We're gonna grab him because he's been a bit of an expert. I'll ask Mr. Ryan Alex as well, and probably let's see, probably in the Golden Rush ones I'll probably ask let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask let's see, definitely Drake and Drift Gordon Ramsay and Bobby and Mr. Isaac for it. See what they feel, of course, about it. For the testing, and this is mainly due to the most of the leagues I've been seeing lately, and I think it's probably a good trend to have as well. And that's whatchamacallit, having the multiple drivers and making that, teams and stuff. And we haven't made that just yet. I mean, there is some plans in that, and plus, like, if we have your own car and it has that car with no team, there is going to be those things I think we're definitely going to adopt soon. Because we don't want to have, just the same, more, official teams. We want to make maybe some of the teams you want to make, or make some fantasy drivers to, at least fill in the
Fantasy teams, or possibly roll with some cool official teams, like example Richard Childress, DEI, Petty Enterprises, Chip Kanaski,
Hendrick Motorsports,
BK Racing,
yeah, etc. Any of those really. Racing, of course, freaking Rash House, Track House, or any of others. Any of those you think of.
Wood Brothers Racing. So, example, all right. We could have a Super Mario Bros. Racing, for example, and we can have Team Sonic Motorsports.
There was actually a little glimpse of it, how it worked, and that's Sega Racing that I put it on Season 4 on Mr.
Sega Racing.
Yeah, I did it with Mr. and Season 5. I did this on Mr. Jeff and Red. That was a glimpse of it that we're going to maybe adopt it. But again, I think we are going to adopt it very soon, mainly for the upcoming seasons soon.
But it won't be too soon, so we'll have to discuss when will the possibility rate be for the whole team shtick to get nailed in to see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're watching this, feel free to join in, and if you have any questions about what will be happening, come to me or come to my bud Leo. I did create a group chat with our bud Tim in it, and this is just including me and Leo and him. So as soon as you join in, I'll have you added into that group chat, and we'll just discuss of what we're going to be doing and what it's going to be looking like. I know you're a nerd and you don't like real sports, but think about it as like a fantasy sport, like an e-sport.
Yeah. And plus, this is pretty much like if you think of the good old Kentucky Derby or with your own car in general, maybe just think of NASCAR combined with the Kentucky Derby. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. It's off-highway racing.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that with fantasy teams, you could create Heroes of Justice Motorsports or the whatever you call it, like Team Nintendo Industries.
Yeah.
Like not or just freaking add like I don't know, Dale Earnhardt Enterprises or freaking Kerry Earnhardt Motors, Racer Motors. I mean that one's a pretty good idea. But for a funny nod to Speed Racer, honestly. Will be a good one.
Gaming race.
Yeah. And then we have Z Fighters Motorsports.
Yeah,
And then Justice.
Just in general, it's anything really. Now, of course, for the fantasy drivers or made up drivers, you can make those as well. That's what we're gonna think of soon as well. And again, that's mainly if you want. And this is also like if you want to adopt this to like other leagues. I think that's what one of the Thunder Fire racers are doing, or a few, is you make that driver how experienced they are, etc. You can also adapt to the series they started in, of course, or they go to different series and how much experience they have, etc. Boom. And I think you most likely get the point of it. You just make a driver called, like, for example, Josh Willie, or Mr. Let's see, Kennedy Alvin, or Calvin Riddle, or Ridley Jr. Anything you can think
Or
of.
freaking,
really.
or freaking King Will, and then King Will the second, and then the third, and then so on and so forth. Like example for me, like in the Walmart Racing Series, I'm called Robert Earnhardt. If you're wondering why I would call myself Robert Earnhardt, I thought of calling myself Raphael Earnhardt, but there's already a Raphael Earnhardt, and Dale Earnhardt is named Raphael Dale Earnhardt, and there's Raphael Dale Earnhardt Jr. So I thought of, why not, instead of going the Ralph idea, I put Robert for like a funny haha idea for, just to throw out a random name that starts with an R. I could go with Reggie Earnhardt, but I think Robert fits well for the Earnhardt name.
Yep. For me.
And this was partially inspired by the Griff Dog What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive series. I would have created my own team for the Walmart Racing League called Robert Earnhardt Industries, or REI for short terms.
Yep, as they call it, the REI.
Yeah, so it's inspired by the Fantasy DEI team. So I think I had a funny idea for you. You'll call it Scotty Wilson Racing.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a funny merge for like Scotty Wilson Racing with REI.
I think it'll be more like. So, I think it'll be more like Scotty's Racing if I make a team, honestly. But we'll see what I'll do exactly.
But yeah, as a team owner, for you being my driver, I don't expect much except for you to be as consistent as possible and try your best to bring in the good days for the team.
My first, 2 races has been freaking DNS by freaking other drivers losing control of their car.
Yeah, I mean, I got myself involved into that mess as well, and I'm already currently in 20th for our boss for Roush Racing for Division 1.
Yeah, I'm like 30 or something, and that's not what I want.
I mean, if you take a look at DMs, if I showed you about Division 2, Division 2, we're actually a pretty dominant team. With me taking second, you taking fourth, and our bud Dale Irwin taking 12th or 11th.
Yeah, indeed.
So we're a dominant team. I wish we had someone that would take the 98 car spot for my team, but that's yet to be determined. And I'm waiting for someone to take that spot. I know I have someone confirmed taking the 95 spot, racing as Mr. Lightning McQueen himself, so I'm going to call him McQueen. And he wanted to roll with Rusty, so he asked my permission. I just said, go for it. Because I don't care at this point of what sponsors we go with, but I'm partially thinking about majority of the chances, hoping, because I'm already rolling with a good wrench for the number 3, because obviously I'm Earnhardt, and, paying tribute to the Earnhardt for Dale, and having Wrangler as the side options as well, Monster, and freaking Coca-Cola, Burger King, Reese's, and yeah, there's that for like primary sponsors. But any other sponsors for REI are optional. Just talk with me about it, and we'll see what sticks.
Yep. Well, that's all for today. I think we can get out. But when we're back, of course, on stream, we'll mention a few things on my 24-hour rush if it hangs in there. We'll probably do a lot more, though, when we get back to our pre-season podcast, and we'll talk a lot more, and then talk about the A's and see who will get the next champion, who will get how many wins, etc., all that, see what tracks be in there, all that, etc. And,
Yep.
yeah, let's just hope for the best that we'll see how this thing goes. Of course, signups again, as mentioned, ongoing rush will not be open until it's fully complete. We're probably gonna get the numbers first done for next week. Well, this week after the voting is done. So I think signups probably won't happen until probably 2 more weeks or so tops, because next week we have to figure out the manufacturers that they're in, because we have, I believe, Chevy, Pontiac, and Ford in there, so we're gonna figure out which.
I'm hoping we could add in a 5th one for Dodge or maybe Plymouth, but that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, well, the one I had like 5 options to do was freaking Aero 88.
Yeah, Aero 88. That's like Oldsmobile, Chevy, Ford, Buick, and Pontiac.
Yeah, literally. There's 5.
If I wish we had freaking Plymouth in there to make that 6 manufacturer options, that would be legendary. And have Toyota for 7th. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, but the whole freaking Plymouth and Daytona Dodge was only there for at least freaking 2 years or so.
Yeah, because when it came to Plymouth, they were only here for like 1970 and 1971. After the 1970 series, they got themselves the biggest nerf in NASCAR history, and that's like
the wing,
cutting the area, cutting the wing, the engine, and the overall chassis, to where only 2 Dodge Daytonas were still around, and Plymouth was like, all right, I think it's time we switch over to a different card. We can't use the Superbird anymore.
Yep.
So they had to switch over to like, I think it was the Roadrunner that they actually went in 1971. Was it the Roadrunner?
It was always the Roadrunner with the Plymouth and the 70 and 71, and then I think the Plymouth. If with that afterwards, I'm thinking with that, I think the Thunderbird took over afterwards. Soon.
Yeah, because I remember the Dodge Daytona was still around even at 1971. It was like a heavily underperformed car after the 1970 restrictions for the 71 season, and that's where it became like a big downfall for Dodge, and they switched over to, I think, the Charger, if I were to guess, because I remember Dodge was actually still around up to about 2000, like after the 2009 season. Yeah. And that's when Toyota stepped in and became the spot after Dodge left the sport until their return currently for this year.
Yeah, current OC it should be 2 years or so. 2027 should be. Um, I think on NASCAR, yeah, their last appearance was pretty much 2011. 2010 to 2011, and that was the last time you ever saw them in Cup. 2009, and that was their last appearance as mainly on Xfinity, and as they call it right now, and Craftsman X. That's where they stop appearing, of course, on the 2009, because 2009, that's where they're done. Their last actual season was 2008 with, at the time it was called the Bush still, and Craftsman Chuck still as is. I think it was called Nationals in 2011 to 2000, I think 2010 to 2011. Arca, it was probably maybe still shown, but after that again it was probably not shown, and again it will be back again and at 2027 on Cup in 2026 on Trex. We don't know if on the cities though. I'll tell you what though, the city cars still look more dope than freaking Cup, to be honest, because they have the Supra, whatchamacallit, Toyota, the GT look, and one of the Chevy cars. Can't remember what the model Spider on right now, but when it comes all to free models, Xfinity and Arca are still the best cars to see on chassis wise, and has the 5 lug nuts. But that's everything we got here today. I hope you all enjoy this podcast today. We don't really do like the daily podcast. We mainly do this as a beginning before the beginning of the series, and after the halfway mark, of course, that's the end of the regular season. Of course, we didn't have one on the regular season because we were pretty busy after all on that one, but hopefully we might do one on the regular season after the season, of course. So you always see this happen every 3 times it shows. But until then, we will see you tomorrow, and with the podcast wise, we'll see you probably a month or whenever we're feeling ready until it happens.
But keep in mind, I might be streaming sometime later on at the late ends of September. That is a possibility, so keep on the lookout for me being able to stream with some few friends. But yeah, I'll actually have y'all be able to join in and whatnot, and we'll discuss about a few things. Like, like I said, it'll be like cool versus fiction character, the Winston chase of who will win the next cup, so on and so forth. Or just ask about, original characters that me and Leo have.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all are not just only interested in the Winston chase, like not only that, you'll wanna discuss about more about, lores and whatnot. We are more than happy to ask questions and answer them the best way we can. As long as it's not something serious or something like, we can just spot that causes drama and whatnot, that involves sensitive topics, we're all fine with any questions.
Yep. Until then, folks.
But yeah,
Until then, folks.
that being said, I got nothing to say.
Yep. So until then, folks, have a good rest of your day, and a good rest of your night and morning. Until then, folks, we'll see you again in a little bit soon on tomorrow, and of course on again podcast wise, we'll see you soon on the pre-season and not the pre-season of the race, but the pre-season podcast. Until then, folks, this is Barack aka Leo signing off. Have a good rest of your day.
Yep, this is Shay 59000 signing off. Have the rest a good day.